not given.
Hey, Patriots fans, if you want to see Toyota's best offers, including those not seen on TV, go to buyatoyota.com. It's Toyota's official website for deals from the official vehicle of the New England Patriots. Toyota, let's go places.
Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
I mean, what did Kevin Harris do wrong?
The
Right?
reason,
he got cut.
the reason, well, he didn't get any yards. Like that's, I am abnormally tied to Kevin Harris. He's done absolutely nothing in 2 years, but I like.
I also
what
just,
he
you
would
know,
want,
like
Fred.
I don't want a defensive coach again.
I don't either.
Oh,
Screw you guys.
sorry.
I'll ask you this question because you killed my buzz on Tuesday about
Sorry.
Mapu.
Sorry.
Are you prepared to kill my buzz on Douglas too?
No. Oh, no.
But I have not heard.
See, he includes the media in these people.
Fred, all due respect, I really don't care what Joe the Plumber has for a pick.
I look at the zeitgeist.
Or some random.
I want to know what the zeitgeist
Well, you
is
don't
saying.
know the zeitgeist from lining to 98.5.
You get a cross-section. He's so obsessed with the media. He's
Why am
so
I obsessed with it? I'm talking about having a prediction for a team.
I know, but like you care
That's
so
not an
much about
obsession.
what they say.
I don't care about it.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Tuesday here at Gillette Stadium, but more importantly, it's week one, game week. It's finally here. Woo! We are ready to go. Philadelphia Eagles, 4:25 on Sunday. And this also, of course, marks the first of our in-season programs. We're now 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at noon, unless we change the time. And we are all video all the time. So I've succumbed to the demand of the fans,
Yeah,
and
all
we are
three of
now
you.
video. We're on YouTube. We're on Patriots.com. So, you know, you can now see us in all our glory as we wolf down food in the middle of the show and all that stuff. But here we are.
Here we are. Sorry.
Hey, everybody.
This is what we look like.
Sorry.
What are you going to do?
Yep. Got my Patriots filtered
There you go.
T-shirt.
Filtered.
Yeah.
Unfiltered.
Unfiltered.
Are we going to be filtered?
Yeah. Well,
More or less.
now that we're on
It's
video, we have
it's
to-
regular season time. Time to put a
It
filter
says that
on
the
it.
video, you got to put some filters over it for our faces.
You know,
Try
sometimes
to
you can
make
get
it a
away
little
with
soft
stuff in the
touch.
off season. People aren't really paying attention. Yeah, that's out.
Little
So
Vaseline
it's Deuce,
over the...
it's Tamara, it's Alex, it's Paul, myself, Matt's in the booth, and Alex decided, now that we're on video,
Absolutely,
I'll
Fred.
come on the show.
Absolutely.
You know,
We're on TV. The girls are all dressed up and
I don't
ready
know-
to go.
I don't
Okay,
know
I
where-
have no makeup on, for the record.
Yeah.
For the record.
I don't know where you've been for the last 2 months, but
No, okay.
I didn't even know
there's-
she still worked here.
There's been
right.
one.
Thanks for coming.
I'm back because I missed Paul. Didn't see
Now
him.
I-
Didn't
now
see him that
Now I'm
much.
now I'm
but
blushing.
now-
Wait a minute.
Now he's
just
making
for
fun of
Paul?
me.
I thought I was the favorite.
Yeah, but we hang out every day.
I think
you
we
are,
all
but
know
we
that
hang
most
out every
people
day
I'm their
upstairs. Paul has been banished to the basement. So
That is true.
also, just there's too many cooks in the kitchen sometimes. Me and Evan have beef.
Bring
Yeah.
your own
You
ingredients.
and Evan have
Wait a minute.
beef.
Wait. No, but bring your own ingredients.
All right.
Just because
hey,
there's
we're
a lot of
cooking
cooks
this year.
doesn't mean
we're cooking
you
this year.
can't bring your own
I know,
thing.
realistically speaking, I'm
Yeah.
probably the best chef here, but no, I know picks are coming up. It's
Gotta hurry.
the season.
I
Gotta
forget
hurry.
about
We're
picks.
back.
Picks on
We have
Thursday.
to do picks.
We're
Gotta
back.
hurry.
I have no
Maybe
idea.
not tomorrow because I got to get new brakes. But
Thursday. Thursday.
I've got 2 days to get a feeling for the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't got no feeling?
No.
You ain't got no feeling.
What
mean-
about Kansas City, Detroit? Any feeling on that one yet?
Well, you
Little
have
early
feelings about
premonition?
certain teams,
Yeah.
that are. But I mean, really, if anyone thinks they know how every team's going to do this year, they're crazy.
Well,
you know?
any year, if anybody thinks they know what every team is going to do.
No, I think.
Except for the zeitgeist. Of
Yeah.
course,
right.
you
No,
know.
I think there's a lot of uncertainty this year.
Yes.
I
think so, but I mean,
No more so than any other year.
But some certainty. I think that Kansas City's going to
Maybe
be pretty
here.
good.
No, that's a
and
certain.
Philly. Philly's
I think
gonna be good,
we're certain that Kansas City will be good. Philly, but the thing about Philly is you lost the Super Bowl, and there's a history of teams that, lost a Super Bowl of having a down year.
Yeah.
But they're loaded. There's no doubt.
How'd the
They're
last
loaded.
team that lost the Super Bowl do?
Kansas City did
They
okay.
won the Super
No.
Bowl.
How'd the last team that lost the Super Bowl do? Last
Cincinnati.
year.
I will say this
Pretty
time.
good.
Yeah.
This time
Pretty good.
last year, I did not predict the Eagles to be in the Super Bowl. Like,
Nope.
I'm a little bit.
Yeah,
I was a little bit shocked.
right.
especially when they got off to 8-0.
Right.
I wasn't expecting that.
So the question is, what team do we not expect to do really well this year will do well?
And that's the hard part. Like every year, there's at least 3 or 4 teams that make the playoffs one year and don't make it the next.
Right.
And identifying those teams, that's the tough part.
Like my feel for the league right now is that people are it's starting to turn on Kansas City. Everyone was like, they're great, but now people are starting to be like, they're too good. They've been too good for too long. Now we're starting to dislike
I heard on the
them.
radio yesterday, let's see what happens with Mahomes when Travis Kelce's
Okay,
no
all
longer
right.
there.
I
I'm
heard
sorry,
that. I heard that
when
too.
old man Kelsey's not there anymore.
Oh, wow.
Now Patrick Mahomes is a product of Travis Kelce.
But no,
Got it.
But
Thanks.
that narrative is what I'm hearing about the Bills.
The Bills.
They're the ones that
everyone
the
thinks the
drop-off
Bills are
is
going to
here.
drop off.
Yeah.
But I think the Eagles are kind of the sweethearts right now, though. They're as much as Kansas City has won, and deservedly so. I think it's like what happened to the Patriots. You start to win too much, and people are like, okay, what's next? I'm kind of sick of this.
Right.
I want someone else. Like I'm not as enthusiastic about a new team. I want it to be Philadelphia. I think they're the darling right now. I think, which is puts a whole nother thing on this game too.
I agree. I feel like they were a team that was slept on, especially in the offseason last year. They're like, Hurts can't do it. Like, he doesn't have the talent around him. He doesn't have the ability to throw the ball. He's just all legs. And I think that he was able to prove that he can do both. Kind of like Lamar Jackson in a sense of like, he won't make it in the NFL. But
right.
Did we ever see that come when we were in Philly a couple summers ago?
No.
Like, remember that? Like,
No,
I'm
his
trying to remember,
development as a passer from
Yeah.
year 1 to year
Yes.
3 was unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, he did have a few.
Unbelievable.
I remember, standing in that corner in between Joe Flacco's bathroom breaks. A couple nice, I remember Goddard. Like, I remember the tight ends looking good, but, I mean, they obviously didn't have A.J. Brown at that point either, or Devontae Smith, I think, right? That was going into 2021. I guess maybe they just had him. But, yeah, they're a stacked team, so it's going to be a dandy, I think, this weekend.
I think, one of the wild cards should be this year is Cleveland. Like, how is Deshaun Watson going to do?
Disappointing though, right? I mean, everybody felt disappointed in him last
Well,
year.
last
what he
year,
showed,
but
and
now,
I mean, rightly so.
you give
but
him that year. Like, this is the year he should, if he's going to be who he was, it should be this year, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see.
2
There's
years
some good
off.
players, though, too, the Browns.
Yeah. What's that?
They have some good players
Yeah,
on that team.
yeah.
I think they'll surprise a lot of people.
So, but, your Steelers, what are they going to do this year? I think they did
Are you a
better.
Steelers
I
fan?
think,
oh yeah,
I think-
I'm
I
a
know
big
this about
Steelers
you.
fan.
I think they did better than
You and
people
Veronica.
thought they
Yeah.
would last year.
I think Kenny Pickett. Watching him in the preseason, obviously it's tough to say, but it looks like he got his rookie, young player jitters out.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's still going to have a lot of welcome to the NFL moments still this year. He's still very new, but I think that they have a little thing going there.
Yeah. So
AFC is just
so
so-
I can't
yeah.
wait. I'm excited. Thursday night, we've got the game. Who was it? The Bills and who?
Isn't it
Oh,
Lions? Lions.
KC and Lions.
Lions
That
and
was
KC,
That
yeah.
was the one I led with.
Paul's face.
the top of the show.
See, this is the best
look of
part about
disgust.
having video. You can see
The worst part, that's why I'm going to get fired.
You can see the palms up moment. I love when Paul does the palms
I don't
up.
know.
It's so good.
KC in the Lions, and are the Lions
It's a
for
fun
real?
game.
I think
It's a
they
fun
could be a
game.
sleeper team if their players can stop gambling.
They were a sleeper team last year.
They
yeah.
could be a sleeper team.
They can stop gambling.
Yeah, don't bet on it. Yeah.
But
I see what you did there. That's good.
So let's get back to the Patriots. Current state of the team. Yesterday they had practice. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yesterday.
yesterday
You're
they
right.
had practice in pretty good attendance. Riley Reef, though, now is out.
IR.
He's
Yeah.
on IR.
we got a new guy in red.
Yeah. You mean the quarterback?
Red. Quarterback.
Matt Corral. But he is on. Oh, he is
he's
on
on
the
the
active roster. He
Yeah.
has to be for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And that prompted a whole flurry of rule clarifications yesterday on how to use the emergency quarterback.
Yeah.
And is this true that the wording was just changed, or is it just people are noticing it
I think
now?
that they
It was
were-
annotated afterwards.
I think they
thought.
clarified it heading into the season because it's a new rule.
The ability to use
Right.
an emergency quarterback.
Right. And the only thing that, as it pertains to the Patriots, that I can tell is you have to have all 3 of them on the roster,
Right.
the active 53-man roster,
Right.
to use one as a
Right.
emergency. It doesn't.
But see,
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. I know you probably digested this a little bit better than I did, but it doesn't prevent them from having Bailey Zappi elevated to the roster on game day
right.
and being the backup and having Matt Corral as one of the inactives.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And which is what I think that they will do.
Yeah.
At least week 1.
Right.
Probably all 3 weeks.
See, and I think what people, and I saw the back and forth on the various platforms, what people were forgetting is the difference between the active 53 and game day active.
Right.
It's a different number. You can be on the all 53 but not be active on game day.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
I think, what is it, 45? So there's usually 8 guys.
Yeah, and it's
that are-
46.
46,
They
sorry,
made that change.
Yep.
But yeah, I think you're right, Fred. I think a lot of people is like, well, so this means you can't. No. In order to have an emergency quarterback, all 3 of them have to be regular members of the 53. You can't be a practice squad elevation.
Right.
On the week of the game.
It's really just a game day thing. I mean, I think people might have had visions of, all the shenanigans of being able to promote guys and then use them as the quarterback. But I mean, you got to have them on the roster. So it helps your game day, but it's not really like
Can
an
I just tell
overall
you-
benefit.
Basically it's
a nothing
rules,
burger.
Yeah, the rule's not there for someone to exploit.
No.
It's there to keep the quality of the game up
Correct.
in the event you lose 2 quarterbacks.
It's going to the situation where San Francisco was during the NFC Championship.
Right.
That's the only. I mean, otherwise it's a huge nothing burger. There's no edge to be gained by having it. I think, to Mike's point, I think people envisioned Malik Cunningham is going to be the emergency quarterback, and you can use him in. No, you can't do that.
No.
If you want to have him active in the game, he needs to be active in the game. If you want to have him as a wildcat or doing some read option type stuff or acting as a wide receiver, he needs to be one of the guys that's active on game day.
That's
you can't
right.
just exploit a loophole and say, well, he has quarterback qualities, so I can use him as my emergency quarterback. Then he can't play.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think the Patriots maneuvering was an impetus for them to say, maybe not necessarily directed at the Patriots, but saying there might be a loophole
Well,
within
that's
here
the
that
conspiracy
could potentially
theory.
be?
Is
No.
Patriots are gearing up to do something.
But what is the loophole?
Well, that's how it was reported when this when this
No.
amendment
I'm
came
well
out,
aware
yeah.
of how it's reported because Fred will tell you everything is. It's us against the world.
That's right.
And everything.
That's right.
But what is to be gained by if the Patriots wanted to have Bailey Zappi be the backup quarterback and Matt Corral be the third quarterback, what's the difference? Than the way it's going to be with him being inactive.
Yeah,
the only difference is now Corral wouldn't be available if both Jones and Zappi got hurt.
Yeah. I think
right?
I
That's
think
the only difference.
I think it was the whole elevation from the practice squad thing. That was the loophole that people
Yep.
thought the Patriots were going to exploit.
They'll just promote their backup quarterback every week as to be just the backup, but then
Right, but there's no advantage to be gained there. You don't get an advantage from that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I'm very. This is going to shock you, Fred.
Yeah.
I'm very defensive of the Patriots and Bill here.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any advantage that Bill's trying to get with that.
But it is interesting that, the week of the game, they decided to emphasize the rule.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah, I don't think there are any
Of all the rules,
coincidences
why
there.
that
I just
one?
think it was something new, and they put some clarification. I think they did add some wording in.
Yeah.
I think they did
Well, that's
add
what
some
people say.
clarifications. But I don't think it was to prevent some team from getting an advantage.
I'll bet you some team, said the Patriots are going to try something, and then the league did that.
So that's an interesting one then, because like I said, I didn't really swallow the rule. I didn't go over every word of the rule. So I'd be curious to see what people think they could have done.
Yep.
That they no longer can. That would have been to the Patriots' advantage.
Okay.
Because I'm not
open
really,
up the phones.
Maybe
855.
maybe I'm missing it. I don't really see what the
I think
difference is.
Every move Bill makes will always just be overanalyzed and questioned like
But
that.
he didn't make any moves.
Well,
that's my point.
The move
Well,
to,
the move
But
to
in
cut
theory-
to
Zappy.
cut them both
Yeah.
and
But-
then re-sign them to the practice
Yeah.
squad. People were
But
really
he did the
rattled
same thing
by
last
that.
year with Brian Hoyer.
No, but we didn't go into the season. We didn't have one quarterback on the roster for any period of time.
Yes, you did.
When?
Last year.
When? Not at cuts.
On the 53 man, I think he's saying we still had Zappi and Jones
Right.
versus
Always.
just Mac.
Always.
Was it
And
a
this was a
different
big
year
surprise.
that I'm thinking?
I don't
Was it
remember.
2 years ago?
I don't know.
It's this
Maybe
whole
I'm
past
thinking
week.
of a
It's this
different
whole
year.
past week of craziness of
Yeah.
guys are on, guys are off.
I
Guys
don't
are practice
remember
squad,
at
guys are
cuts having
promoted.
one quarterback on.
I'm
on
just
the
saying,
50.
he didn't. He cut Bailey Zappi because he's not sure about him,
I-
not
I-
because he was trying to get an advantage.
That's-
That's all I'm
no,
saying.
no,
Like
I-
I'm trying to defend Bill here.
No,
I really,
no, and I agree
I'm in an
with
odd
you.
spot.
I agree with you, but from the outside, people go, what are they doing?
What's going on
There's
there?
one quarterback.
He's looking for an upgrade. That's what he's doing.
But
and he found it in Matt Corral.
But we feel that way. But people that hate the Patriots don't feel that way. Oh, he's up to something.
Yeah,
He's going to do
They're gonna
something.
search for the gray area, no
He's
matter
gonna
how
do
black and
something.
white it is.
I'm telling you.
Well, like I said, I'd be curious to hear some scenarios of people that
yeah, I
would
would
put
too.
a tinfoil hat on and think that they actually
Let's hear it.
prevented
Let's
them
hear
from
your
doing
conspiracy
something.
Theories.
You know me, I love those conspiracy theories.
Absolutely.
And plus, Alex will be here to shoot them all down. She'll tell you about clean eating and
I like conspiracy
Also,
theories. I get in the
good
mud.
news from yesterday's practice was seeing Devontae Parker return to practice after not seeing him for 2 days in the portion that we were able to see.
Yeah, what did he look like? Because I saw some people say he looked
tall,
limited, catches a lot of contested balls. Yeah, I'm curious how that plays out though. If he's able to go, or if
because were you getting
Pop
a little worried
Douglas
about wide receiver, Mike?
I mean, I think that there's certainly a role for Devontae Parker, and I just think it gets interesting without him.
I just felt like,
especially because we saw so much of him.
Well, Jalen Reagor getting signed to the practice squad, and now another guy whose name escapes me.
Farrah?
No, he's a tight end.
He just got
TJ
elevated.
Luther.
There you go.
That's why
I bring you. Adding a couple of wide receivers to the practice squad at this juncture.
Honestly,
I was worried about. I was a little worried that maybe they felt like they weren't going to. Juju Smith-Schuster really hasn't been overly active throughout. So now I was wondering if they felt like they needed somebody.
So I'm wondering, that's a good point, Paul, because it's like, you see the reports about Juju's knee, about reportedly, something could happen to it at any moment. Then you obviously
Then he comes back.
Then he comes back. Then Demario Douglas, he was on the upper fields for a little bit, and then we saw Devontae Parker disappear for 2 days. So it's like, I wonder if they're getting some insurance.
Yeah.
My just feeling is that we got to keep beating the bushes because we don't have guys that we feel 100% certain about that they're game-changing players. And I mean, as much as Reagor has been a disappointment, I think anytime there's a guy with a little bit of pedigree that you can bring on the practice squad and work him out for a little bit, it's worth it.
What do you think of his situation? He'll be gone next week.
Yeah, I'm not.
I
don't
brought
really
in for the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean,
I do.
I don't even know what that's gonna really do 2 years later. But I don't know. I think anytime you have a chance to take a chance on somebody like those, because God knows 2 years ago or 3 years ago, if they drafted him in the first round, everyone would have gone crazy.
Well, I think they just
Well,
want
Fred would have gone crazy because they missed on Justin Jefferson, just like they did in
Right,
Philadelphia.
Right.
But I think the Patriots just need options right now. They need to see as many people and see what sticks.
I beat the bushes,
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what's up with Parker. I just think that he has, of everything we know about the Patriots offense, that's one of the only things I feel like that's a thing. Like throwing Parker a contested catch in the red zone, that's going to happen a dozen times at least this year. But if he's not out there, how do they kind of play it? No Thornton with any speed on the outside. So, now are you playing Bourne on the outside? And it's just, I don't know, it gets sticky without Thornton or Parker out there. I just don't think you really have a true outside guy. You've got a bunch of guys who are kind of middling inside. So it's just, how do they go? Maybe they lean more into Gesicki and that. I just think that's what my
12 personnel.
Yeah, my question is how are they going to balance it all? How are they going to balance Zeke and Ramondre? How are they going to balance the two tight ends? How are they going to balance
the line?
Well, that's that's a whole thing unto itself. Although I just feel like with Calvin Anderson, if he's able to go at right tackle,
but that's what I mean. How are they going to? I mean, you have Strange, Owenu, and Anderson potentially playing for the first time.
And not really anybody to rotate.
You can't expect them to go wire to wire.
Right. You're going to have to rotate a little bit.
I mean, and then it's, are one of those guys, Lowe or Wheatley, that they got ready is so ready to get a chance? I mean, it's no question.
I think Mafi and So will
when you get into your
play.
rotational stuff, Paul, that I think is a great observation. That's where it gets scary. I mean, at least we get out there and there's a starting five. That seems like a reasonable starting five. We get to the third quarter, we see how it looks in terms of conditioning and stuff.
I could see something like Strange starts at left guard. On the third series, Mafi replaces him at left guard. Maybe on the fourth series, Mafi moves to right guard for Owenu, and Strange goes back in.
And does Owenu? I guess.
And that's how you
you're
sort
not going to
of
slide Owenu out to right tackle.
I don't know. I mean,
reps, but
he could play right tackle. I'm not telling you, but I don't think he would go from right guard to right tackle without injury.
And by doing what Paul just
and So would do the same thing for Calvin Anderson.
Doing what Paul suggested, it kind of avoids another team getting the read on a guy. So if Mafi goes from one position to another on different series, if he's losing a battle,
you can protect him a little
bit. Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can protect him a little bit.
I feel all those guys might need to be protected.
I think you have to
against
be
this offensive
strategic that way because, Philadelphia's front is that good.
And it's deep,
and
too.
if they get a matchup that they can exploit, they're going to exploit it. They're going to go crazy.
I mean, they've got some stuff to play with. That Nolan Smith, off the edge. I mean, they've got some depth with their front.
So it's going to be an interesting game. I mean, to me, the key is the defense for the Patriots. They have to just try to keep it close into the second half. Don't let this thing get away from them. And then maybe you got a shot. But the defense has to get the Eagles off the field, the Eagles offense, so that you just can keep it within range.
To me, I think it starts with the offense, because if the offense can't stay on the field, then the defense is going to be on the field the entire game, and they're going to be burnt out.
I know
I'm with Tamara.
They give
I think
each other,
the offense needs to score.
They give each other hope. There's no doubt about it.
They need long drives. They need to stay on the field so that the defense can have a chance to catch them.
And
but don't you think there's less chance of the offense coming out hot than the defense for the Patriots? So I think it's going to take the offense some time.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at the defense as that middle reliever that just kind of keeps the game close until you can get to your closer.
I think the Eagles' offense is better than their defense. So I would give.
Philly's one of the few teams, too, that actually has a respectable O-line that, our pass rush might have a difficult time with.
Yeah.
And that's one of our greatest advantages.
I mean, there's a reason why they went to the Super Bowl.
Now, you're right.
Yeah.
The week one uncertainty that Bill always talks about, who knows? Maybe this year's Eagles offense is not going to be anywhere near as explosive as it was last year. And maybe teams spent the offseason saying, okay, this is what they're doing. This is all the RPOs they're running with Hurts. Let's make sure we take that away, whatever, mush rush, and keep him in the pocket, make him beat us with his arm, and maybe he's not as good without that stuff. I think he is. I think he sort of developed last year in that regard, and teams had a hard time finding answers. And I think their weapons individually, whether it's Swift or Brown or Devontae Smith or Goddard, I think they have a lot of different options. And those are the kinds of teams that traditionally are giving the Patriots defense trouble when there's not one guy to focus on or two guys. And then, of course, the mobility factor with the quarterback has been a thorn in their side for a while.
I saw an interesting stat on Hurts, is that the key for him is not keeping him in the pocket. It's pressuring him to move, because his numbers, his completion percentage when he's on the move goes from 60-something% down to 20-something% when he throws on the move.
Now, how does that fare with other guys?
I don't know. But
Because I've always been told he's very good off platform on the run.
On a design play. But I'm talking
trying
about
to thread the needle
on a design.
No, and I don't know. That number sounds bad to me. But is that number one in football?
Yeah, I don't know
for throwing on the run.
But if that's the difference,
you got to find one little thing you can think of. But I mean, not to get on this, but if Bill's the greatest coach of all time, and this is the NFL's hot new offense. I said if Bill's the greatest coach of all time, and this is the hot new offense, and they've gotten pants by this kind of attack a few times in recent memory. Certainly Lamar Jackson a couple times.
With less weapons than this team has.
It's I don't want to say it's time for this to happen, but hey, we're putting our faith in the coach here, and the coach to come up with. You've had a full year to prepare for this. To Paul's point, we know what they do. They took the NFL by storm. So, maybe a little bit of that special sauce from Bill Belichick would be nice. Something. Wow, they look like they're having some trouble moving the ball.
But I think that special sauce will only go so far if Christian Gonzalez is having a hard time.
Sure, absolutely. I mean,
because that's going to be trial for fire, but for him.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's no easy way around it. I just think they're going to make plays, and it's not like you can say, well, we'll just play zone, or we'll just play man-to-man, or we'll just do X, Y, or Z. We'll just play this package. There's no answer schematically. You just have to play better than them, and everybody has to play well for 60 minutes. It's just one of those games where you throw the playbooks out the window, I feel like, because they do everything well, and you want to take something away, well, they've got something else. So you just got to win every snap, as much as you can, and then at the end make those last plays that sometimes they weren't able to make last year.
Speaking of the secondary, I heard on one of Paul's shows this morning, a guy called in, and again, I don't know did you hear this?
Yeah.
He said he's very, very, very close. He has a friend who's very, very close to the Jack Jones case. And that word is that the whole thing's going to not get dismissed, but
he said dismissed.
Yeah, but I think he misused that word. It's going to be a plea bargain where there'll be no jail. Have to do some community service, and it's all going to be announced this week.
So there's a loophole in there somehow.
So-
Something happened. That
You
there's
know
like
me.
Improperly collected evidence or
No,
You
no,
know
no,
me.
it's not
Those
going to
kind
be.
of
You know what I worry about, right?
Yeah.
I worry about everything,
Huh?
right? I worry that if it gets sort of completed this week, that allows the NFL to step in and suspend him.
Well, that could be.
That worries me.
Yeah.
Whereas if this played out, they might just say, well, we're going to let it play out in the courts, and maybe he squeezes in the season
Yeah.
before it actually goes to trial or whatever. If it's going to be finalized and he has a plea bargain, and if he pleads out, he's going to have to plead guilty.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I think the
So then
NFL
how
can
does-
step in.
But he would be pleading guilty to a lesser charge.
Right.
If
But
he's.
I'm
if-
not saying they will. I'm saying they can.
See, but I don't think the league would. I think they say, well, the court's spoken. If they think that, all he has to do is community service, then we're good
Do you
with
know
it.
how many guys the court has spoken and said the guy didn't have to do anything and they suspended him? Like Ezekiel Elliott?
Well, but there was video there of him like beating.
I know, and the court said he didn't do anything wrong.
No, but there was video. There was,
Public reaction will be
Yeah.
a big
Yeah.
factor.
I just wonder how he's going to get out of it. Like, what is,
I
what
don't-
is- what
like
is
I
the
said,
problem?
I
right?
Yeah.
I
No,
wonder who's
that's-
close
that-
enough to this case to be even speaking about
Right,
it.
that's why
Like,
I don't
that's
buy
why
it.
Just
Yeah.
I don't buy
doesn't
it at all.
Seem
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it said it's today.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Fred's right. The guy said it's going to get resolved today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe the guy's really close with one of the guys involved in law enforcement. And
Moving
Could be anything.
Evan Lazar weighed in on our previous discussion about the QBs. He just texted me.
did I
and
miss it?
Doesn't he have boxes? to
'Cause
be,
I'm sure
like,
he- I'm
moving
sure
and
he read the
unpacking?
rule.
He texted this with his tongue while he was carrying a box up flights of stairs. To clarify, the difference now is that QB2 has to be on the 53-man roster. The rule was originally not written that way, so you could elevate QB2 from the practice squad and dress all three quarterbacks with Corral as emergency QB. Could have dressed all three while only taking up 2 game day roster spots. That's the loophole they closed, is what Evan said.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything different there that I said. I think
Well, he's
the-
saying they changed the rule.
you can't use a guy on the practice squad as your emergency quarterback either. That's the rule that
Yeah.
they said yesterday. But I just don't know how that would have been an advantage.
I guess were they trying to say that like you could elevate Malik Cunningham, well Matt Corral, that you could elevate Cunningham without I don't know,
Well,
without taking a roster spot? Is
Jack
that what
in
they
Ann
were trying to
Arbor
do?
says the loophole was that if the first 2 quarterbacks did not have to be on the 53-man roster, the Pats could have named Mack as their first quarterback and named Cunningham as their second quarterback without placing him on the 53-man roster. Then the Pats could have designated Corral as their emergency.
You can't do that.
No, but he's saying they could have.
You could never have a guy on the 53-man roster if he's not on the 53-man roster.
He said
He would have to be elevated from the practice squad. They could still do that.
Yeah. He said then they designate Corral as their emergency third quarterback. Then Cunningham could have played even if both Mack and Corral were not injured.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that
yeah.
is the rule. But you can't have Cunningham
Play and be the
play
third.
and not be on the 53-man roster.
Right. Or you can't have him play and be declared the emergency quarterback. The emergency quarterback cannot play, period, unless both
The other two
quarterbacks are
quarterbacks
hurt.
get hurt. yes.
Period.
And you can't have a guy off the practice squad
Yeah.
active if someone else is an emergency quarterback.
It's just for teams with a third quarterback on their regular roster, he's okay on game day, right? Like he can be the game day quarterback.
Only if the other 2 quarterbacks are hurt.
But I mean, I'm just saying he's able to dress then for the game. If you have a third
Yeah.
quarterback on your 53-man roster,
as far as
he
like
can
I
dress
said, and
every
maybe
week
Evan
and
can
he's-
chime in again because I know, like I said, I know he read this. As far as I can tell, they can opt to have Zappy elevated to the active roster on Sunday, and have Jones, Zappy, and Corral if they want to elevate Cunningham too. Him as well. They could all be active.
you can
in
have
the
10,
game.
you can have 10
None of them
quarterbacks.
can be the emergency
Right.
quarterback.
Yeah.
That's all.
but couldn't Corral
No,
because he's on the 53.
no, because you can't elevate a guy from the practice squad and make him the 2 if you're going to use another guy as the emergency quarterback.
I'm lost.
He can be inactive, but he can't be the emergency quarterback,
Okay. All right. Well,
according to what I read yesterday, the way
Yeah.
I read it yesterday.
well,
But my point is, they haven't closed any loophole to use Malik Cunningham if they want to. Like they just
That's right,
can't
yeah.
have an emergency quarterback
mhm.
if they want to have. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
But that's what I don't really get. I don't
feels
really
like a
get where
Malik
the
Cunningham
advantage
thing.
was lost. I don't think they've lost any advantage. I don't think they had an advantage to begin with.
Well, I'd be interested to hear what Evan thinks of why they changed the rule.
Well, I'm pretty sure I have an idea.
Let's see if
of
he's
that.
he's not typing. I don't know.
Yeah, because his fiance probably caught him with his phone.
Evan,
listening
moving.
to the show.
Pick up that box.
All right, 855-PASS-500 is the Ace Ticket Hotline. Webradio@patriots.com is the email address. Any other Patriots news we just got to pick up before we open up the phones and emails?
Okay, I have a question. So if this guy's wrong and Jack Jones can't play, or whatever happens and he can't play, how comfortable are we with what's left?
Sean Wade.
Yeah.
Are we good with that?
I don't think it would be him.
Well, everyone's saying that he was used differently this preseason and it's more suited to his abilities. Like
in the slot.
In the slot, inside, not on the outside. Even though he's a bigger guy, he's just not suited for the outside. And he did better playing on
Not
the
against
inside.
Green Bay.
Maybe Mills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Amir Speed. That's it.
I
Outside
think
corners.
well, Miles Bryant could play.
Well, I'm saying outside guys. I mean, Miles Bryant on the outside.
Oh.
Yikes.
I mean, if you had to put I would just put Jonathan Jones back on the outside and put Marcus Jones in the slot if Jack Jones can't play.
Yeah. I
don't love that.
No, I think you got two. I think Jonathan. I mean, I'm expecting Jonathan Jones can be outside.
Yeah.
To begin with.
But
It's
not
gonna
if
be
Jack Jones
Gonzalez
plays.
and Jonathan Jones.
If Jack Jones plays Sunday, I expect Jack Jones and Gonzalez to be outside with Jonathan Jones in the slot.
I don't.
Okay.
I disagree with you.
I'll bet you a lunch.
Okay. No, I think it'll be Jay Jones.
Now they won't play.
Well, what if it's like this? What if it's Jay Jones and Gonzalez are the two outside guys, and they're kind of mixing and matching on the inside. Then third down, Jack Jones comes on. Jay Jones goes in the slot.
Oh, then the bet's off.
Bet's off.
Because that means Jack Jones didn't start. I'm saying Jack Jones is going to start.
You think they'll go three corners?
Yeah. But if he doesn't start, then my bet's off.
Okay. All right. That's fun. Little side bet. Little side hustle. I like it.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
There's a lot to look at. Plus Brady. Like, you didn't think of that. Like,
yeah.
What's he going to be doing?
The plot twist is Brady is going to be QB1 and Mac's going to be QB2.
There we go. I like it. He's coming out of retirement.
He is on the roster, so he can be QB2.
Can we elevate Brady? What's it elevating a retired player? Is that?
All right, let's get to the phones. We've got a lot to talk about. People have things on their mind they need to impart on us. Patty's in Agawam. What's up?
What's up, everyone?
Hey.
Hey, Patty.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not too bright, but I've got a really good feeling about this game against Philly. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to win or they're going to, run over them, but I think people are going to be underestimating this team. Not only that, I think there's going to be a lot of emotion. I think with the new video board, I think that could give if the fans show up and if they're really into it from the first snap, the first defensive snap, I think that might be able to rattle the Eagles' offensive line a little bit. That being said, I think people, like I said, are going to underestimate the offense this year. And you guys already know Mac's my breakout player, and that's all I got.
All right, thanks. I would love it if the reason why the Patriots won this game is because of the new video board.
We should
ice
kickers.
That would
with
be
the
great.
Board.
Yeah, best investment the Patriots ever had
on the video board. Like if a basketball player taking a free throw, it's just.
My favorite thing about the
them.
new video board is that I can't even see it from my seat in the
know.
press box. It's like it doesn't even exist. So
I can only see the bottom half of it.
You got nothing.
I can see feet running
it's like
across.
the same exact field.
Yeah.
I just wonder if video boards around the league get the amount of attention that from fans as this one did. Not from the fan viewing experience, because I think that's awesome.
Well, the one in the Cowboys. I mean,
but
that's all
I'm
they
talking
talk
about affecting the game.
Yeah.
I've heard
Someone
double-digit
asked Bill
questions
that
about the
last
win
year,
patterns.
about the win, yeah.
I will say
I just can't imagine that has gotten as much attention in Denver. It's supposedly that's the tallest one.
It happened at Notre Dame
what?
because they didn't have one on one side of they didn't have one at all. It was bad on one side of the stadium because they wanted to keep the historic feel.
Well, there was that year that they got names and stuff too. They got really wild with their uniforms.
On their jerseys.
Yes.
Like when the year that Penn State put the stripe down the helmet, they said, "Whoa, slow down."
Yeah. So Notre Dame usually only puts names on the back of their jerseys for bowl games, and if they're seen before that, then it's like. You would think all hell's breaking loose.
Rudy's rolling over in his grave.
Yeah.
Not dead.
Pretty sure he's still with us.
Yeah. Christian's in L.A. What's up, Christian?
Yeah. Hey, guys, two quick questions. One pertaining to the game and the other one pertaining to the league. First one, the game. How many points do we have to win by for you guys to say, okay, yeah, the team looks good and we have a legitimate shot at making the playoffs? And then conversely, how many do we have to lose by for you guys to say it looks like we don't have the talent to go anywhere this year?
Yeah, I'm not
1 and 20.
Yeah, you can't listen. I'm not going to fall into that week one and then that's it. Come on, let's not do that.
But I think
I
if
mean,
they
I'd like
pulled
to
this
watch
win out in any fashion,
But can I watch the
I'd
game?
be enthused. Yeah.
Like if it's one of those games like Cincinnati last year and they happen to win it, it'd be really exciting in an upset. But I'm not going to say that means anything going forward.
Yeah,
if they just blow their doors off and they're the better team for 60 minutes, then I'll sit back and say, "Wow,
yeah,
didn't see that coming. I might have to reassess."
I don't think Duke's going to the national championship because they beat Clemson.
Absolutely not.
Right. Well, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
If it's like that, did you watch any of that game?
No.
Clemson killed them. Mm-hmm. They missed 2 field goals. They fumbled twice inside the 10, once at the 1.
Yeah. Clemson fumbled the
It's
bag.
just one of those things.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, here's my second question. As the league inevitably moves to the 18-game schedule, would it be more beneficial for the league to allow 5 more players to the active roster or 10 more players to the practice squad?
Some adjustment I could see.
You can't have any more in the practice squad. It's already ridiculous.
16.
But I could see, maybe more active on game day, perhaps.
I think the practice squad used to be 5.
Yeah.
It was really low.
I mean, it's
Now
totally
it's
different now
16.
because of COVID with the veterans. You got 6 veterans, I think, that you can have on that are,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they should get rid of that.
You know,
too.
just a
the
couple
IR rule they changed, I think.
IR, I like that.
Yeah.
That rule's
coming
good.
back, unlimited people can return now, where it used
Yeah.
to just be a handful, right? I don't know, 2 or something. At some point, there was only a couple guys that could return from there. So, I like any chance it gives the team to develop players, to hold on to players. I get Paul's point
That's
about
what
the
it should-
vets. Where
that's what it should be.
It kind of
Yeah.
becomes like a little holding ground for vets who you don't really want to pay, and
So instead of 6 of
use
those,
them as
maybe
depth.
can we use 2?
Yeah.
Can we lower it from because I think you can have 6 vets on the practice squad. Can we lower that to 2, and have the other ones be?
Because it's guys like Jalen
Forward.
Rieger that it's nice for the team to be able to take a chance on him and look at him, but I'd rather see a player like that, if he's really going to make it, have to get picked up by a roster. And I would guess by this point a guy like him would have burned his eligibility already anyway. But I mean, I like the flexibility of it, but they got. I mean, it's all guys too that are internal. It was all guys that were pretty much in camp with them here. I think there was one exception was what's his face, Pharaoh Brown, that just got promoted. So I don't know. It's just interesting after COVID how that's all evolved.
Oh yeah.
I also, Fred, because I asked Mike a similar question, not in regards to points, win or lose, but just on expectations going into the game. It's if they play well, but they lose, it's are you going to be happy or, high expectations? But if they play horrible, are you going to be they're exactly where I thought they were?
Yeah, well, people will say that.
Because it's tough because I'm this is a good team. So, if you were opening against the Lions, then it'd be different. But it's the Eagles.
But like Paul said, you got to see the game.
Right.
What if the Eagles just
look bad,
have 6 turnovers?
Yeah. Well,
because I'll allow
what are you
for
going to
that
get? What are you
too.
going to gain out of that?
Exactly.
They could lose the game and raise my expectations
Right.
by playing well.
Right.
Yeah.
And playing against a team that played well and they were just better and they beat you that day.
Right.
I could see myself saying, well, wow, they stood toe-to-toe with them.
Paul, 2001, what was the great example of that?
Rams.
The Rams.
Rams.
We played the greatest team on turf, and they beat us during the regular season, but we were right with them, and then we beat them in the Super Bowl.
It's a big matchup. I mean, I think I'll take a win in any capacity, no matter how.
Oh, sure.
It looks
Bottom
for this
line
team.
is you win the game, and you're feeling better about yourself than.
But
than
I always temper expectations for week 1, and I also try not to get ahead of myself to look at Miami because I think that's a real big game. I mean, that's as much as you lose the opening
if you're
week against an NFC team,
win,
it can happen. But I'm really optimistic this year that they're going to be a lot more competitive with these good teams. I think a lot of these games are going to, and even the ones that maybe looked competitive and, on the scoreboard we knew weren't really competitive, I think they will be a lot more competitive this year. I just hope that they have enough to get over the top, and beat these teams. I don't want the season where we fought hard, we were right there with everybody, but it was a 6-11 season. That's, I don't want that moral victory.
See how he just sneaks it in there?
I know.
See how
I don't want it.
I didn't say 6-11. See how he just sneaks it in there?
I think you did on the radio last week.
I did not.
Tausik is in New York. What's up, Tausik?
Hey, guys, first-time caller, long-time listener. I'm thinking about my favorite Brady regular season game. What is yours?
Well, which one is
Regular season.
yours?
What do you got?
Week 12, 2013, Patriots versus Broncos, the 24-0 comeback.
Oh,
win.
that was a great one.
That's a great one.
That was a great one. In the wind.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I love the
great performance.
The Tennessee shellacking was a great one. The one with was it against the Bills where he had 5 touchdowns in a quarter or something like that?
Fred loves all the blowouts. I like the one.
Of course I do.
I like the one at Denver on a Monday night game in like 03 where he hit Givens, the safety game, the Lonnie Paxton safety
That was a great
game.
one.
That drive down the field at the end and the throw to Givens, just perfect.
Yeah.
That Ravens 07 game, it wasn't like necessarily a great game. I don't know. I just took great enjoyment of watching the Ravens absolutely melt down in that game.
Yeah.
So there's some to pick from.
Yeah. All right, Tauseek, thanks for the call. Let's go to Anthony in Seattle. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, what's up, my people?
Hey.
Hey, I called in Thursday. I got sidetracked with my reiterating my Super Bowl prediction, but I called in about something else. A couple of things. Paul, you cracked me up, man. On Tuesday, that was one of the best PFW/PU cursing moments because
Oh, yeah.
you didn't hear yourself say it.
I even repeated
and
it.
then you doubled down.
I did.
So he's like, I can blink around. Oh, and
I was very Mike-like on that one. Just
You didn't even realize it.
didn't even
And you
realize.
denied
He
it.
repeated it.
I go, what?
That was hilarious.
I didn't believe you did it.
So, yeah, I don't
So
think
nonchalant
that's
about
the first time somebody repeated it and then was like, "Oh, I did curse." So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But,
That word is not not allowed to say that.
Okay, Paul and Duke, and I'll real quick and I'll get off the air. But a couple of things. I loved the 12 Brady moments. I agreed with the top 3. I knew those would be the top 3. In my opinion, and obviously just opinion, if we're talking about just moment, that Super Bowl 51, and I know you had to play crappy in order to be down 28-3, but the fact of the matter is they were down 28-3, and then what I saw that man do is we're talking about just Brady. I mean, as far as the game, Super Bowl 49 by all means, but as far as just Brady, wow. I mean, and that was the day after my 30th birthday, so I was old enough to appreciate what I had seen, and it was just like, it was like godly to me. I get chills when I talk to people about it. I don't want to go on a tangent because I don't want to take up too much time. One thing that's tied to that, more Fred's thing as far as like just like a moment by itself, is media day leading up to that. And one of those things, name something that lives like rent-free in your head, is when the kid asked him, who's your hero?
Yeah.
You know, my dad. And
yeah, he cried.
I tear up when I think about it because in hindsight, his mom was battling cancer. You know, Tom Brady Sr. is the rock of that family. You know, his wife obviously, and then to see Tom, the human side, and the my dad. That oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So those are 2 things that I wanted to pitch in on.
All right, thank you, Anthony.
Are the Mr. and Mrs. coming? Mr. and Mrs. Brady?
He mentioned
yes.
his family will be here.
Yeah.
Yes, and Tom Sr. was
Irina
quoted
Shayk?
in. I don't know about.
I hope so.
I don't know about her. That's a woman, right?
That's a woman. Trust me.
That's a woman.
That's a woman.
She's all woman.
She sure is.
Wow.
What a woman.
You guys are very inappropriate. I think Chris Gasper of the Globe had a piece last week, I think Sunday, with Tom Brady Sr., and the plan is for Tom and Galen to be there.
Damn rights.
Damn rights.
Damn rights. We expect to win pretty easily, to be honest. Remember when he said that about the Tampa thing?
Frankly.
That crawled
I think
right
he
up
said
my butt.
frankly.
Yeah, frankly. We think we'll win pretty easily.
They didn't win easily.
No.
I was wrong about that.
Yep.
Brain, you know.
All right, webradio@patriots.com is the email address. Got a lot of emails.
There's not supposed to be like a monsoon on Sunday or anything, is there?
There's a
30% chance.
Yeah.
It's a delayed reaction
I mean,
on that one.
because we're going to get real hot this week.
Yeah,
it's going to be like 90
All the
degrees on
humidity is
Thursday.
like building up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Eventually it breaks, and usually there's...
no.
I just assumed that would be Friday night when I'm at TJ's game.
I want to get a weather check on that.
David in Bethlehem says a couple points. Philly has replaced both offensive and defensive coordinators.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Their O-line is not solid. The center is old, and I think they have a couple rookies. Hurts has not grown taller. Pat's pass rush can force him to leave the pocket where Mapu can mop up.
Oh.
Pat shocked the Sharks and win.
Okay, so just so you know, the Eagles returned 4 or 5 starters on our offensive line that is considered to be, if not the best, one of the 3 best offensive lines in football. Now, the one area they lost Isaac Sapolu, I think, in free agency. Second-year guy Cam Jurgens is replacing him, and he had an up-and-down camp, according to Jeff McClain of the Philadelphia Inquirer. I read some stuff from him. Sort of feels like he's a good player, but he, sort of struggling. So maybe that opens the door for a Christian Barmore or even Godchaw on early downs. Maybe, collapse the pocket a little bit for some pressure. But I'm sorry, Landon Dickerson, Jordan,
Jordan Giant,
my Talala and Lane Johnson. Yeah, that's an excellent offensive line. Now maybe you play better than them on Sunday. That's why they play. But that's a good offensive line.
You mentioned Barmore. I'd love to see him out there and really playing a lot. And I'd even throw a Quale in there. I think we were talking to Evan about this. I'm sure we'll get into it in the next couple of shows too. But it's just, if you kind of do that thing with Godchaw and Guy where they 2-gap and they kind of sit there, like, it just allows them so much time in the backfield to do their little RPO stuff and, do what they want. I'd love to see an aggressive approach that just kind of has Barmore and a Quale in the middle and even maybe Keon White.
Yeah.
Go get him. Just disrupt every play.
I just love a year from now to be saying Keon White and Christian Barmore are the two of the most ferocious tackles in the league.
And hopefully we can re-sign Barmore.
Too. Like that'd be great if these guys would get re-signed and stick around.
And I really just hope that they're available to do just that. And I think with Barmore, we really suffered last year not having him for that handful of games where he was hurt.
Yeah.
So hopefully this year, he starts off strong, but also finishes the whole season.
And is able to play more than just third down.
Yes.
They decide they're going to use him, and he performs. Dan in Maine says, "What's up with the news on Juju's knee being a ticking time bomb? And no Thornton for at least 4 weeks? Do we need to make a move in the wide receiver room early in the season?" They kind of are. They're little moves, but they're doing it.
I just hate how the media operates now, where these stories get recycled every other week, and you're like, we just dealt with this. He said it 2 weeks ago. We all talked about it 2 weeks ago.
Right,
Karen wrote a whole thing 2 weeks ago, and now I guess Dove apparently decides now it's time to re-aggregate it, and it comes out again, and everyone has to respond again to it.
That wasn't
it's
a new
news.
Report, right? He was just regurgitating it yesterday from Breer.
No, it's the same thing, right?
Well, it's an old thing that Breer wrote.
Literally
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Guy just tweeted it yesterday I'm trying to figure out the reason.
I didn't love Juju's response, by the way, in Karen's piece. Didn't necessarily shoot it down. But this is not new news, even with Bert's report. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster, his second year in the league, just absolutely exploded. He had 100 catches for 1,500 yards, and he had a really bad knee problem the following year and has never really been the same. Mm-hmm. He's dealing with a knee injury that has affected him at the very least and prevented him from playing at the most. Periodically since then, I want to say that was 18 that he had that big year. Maybe it was 19. But last year in Kansas City, I think he was able to manage it enough that he was out there playing, and I think that's probably a reasonable expectation now. I don't know if he's going to give you – he's not going to give you the 1,500 yards, but can he be a complementary piece to the puzzle? I think he can.
I don't know what he is. He could – I think we said on the show, he could be good. He might be one of those receivers that he's big, he's physical, he doesn't pop when you're just kind of practicing, but I didn't see a lot from him this summer. And, he certainly had a couple – where it looked like, all right, that's him one-on-one at the 5-yard line with a guy. I think he's going to get in, and if that's a game situation. So, I don't know. I think he's one of the most interesting players to watch this weekend.
Do you think he can be as good as LeGarrette Blount was when he was here?
Ooh, that's an interesting comparison.
Who are we talking about?
Juju?
Oh, I was talking about Zeke.
Oh, we changed gears.
I thought you were talking about Zeke on the 5-yard line.
Yeah, the problem
popping it in.
Yeah, I think Zeke will be a good goal line back. Yeah, I don't know about LeGarrette Blount because I don't think he's going to get that amount of carries. But
I
know what I thought of LeGarrette.
But
Blount.
every once in a while, LeGarrette Blount, he'd tippy-toe in the backfield and get caught a lot. But every once in a while, he'd break one.
Had a steam going, and I don't know. I think my expectations for Zeke are more just as a complimentary back, and that they both had a really good day. I don't really expect, wow, Zeke's really going today. Ramondre, we're going to pull back on him, and this is going to be a Zeke day like it was with Blunt against the Colts. You remember, like,
I was going to say that my recollection of Blunt is
just
he'd break out every time they
Colts.
played the Colts. He'd run for $120.
Could you see them elevating Kevin Harris on game day, like to have 3, or do you think they'll stick with 2?
I think they'll stick with 2 and Ty Montgomery. I think they'll elevate Ty Montgomery.
You think he'll get elevated?
I think that'd be the 3, right? 3. I think
because he can use him in the passing game.
Yeah. I think he's as much a receiver as anybody, as any of those guys.
Yeah, you're probably right.
All right. Well, as you can see,
Fred's food's here.
Everybody's food's
right
here.
We see both your
can't
food
see
in
it
the
on-
shot.
So
That's Fred's food.
We'll take a break, but before we do, I just want to remind people that Bridgestone is the official tire of the New England Patriots and proud partner with Sullivan Tire, New England's headquarters for quality Bridgestone tires. Visit sullivantire.com to find a location near you.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. What's up, everybody? Matty behind the glass here, switching it up today, stealing a little time away from Matisse, but hey, he can deal with it. In case you missed it, which if you're listening to this show, I don't know how you could have, Tom Brady will be making his return to Gillette Stadium and will be honored during the Week 1 game against the Eagles. Patriots.com put up a great video ranking the top 12 Brady highlights. Excellent video, gives you chills watching. I suggest everyone goes checks that out on Patriots.com. They just did a phenomenal job with that. In honor of that video, I thought we would run down the choices here also. So let's get into it. All right, coming in at number 12, the Miami 500. In 2011 at the Miami Dolphins, Brady throws for 517 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Second down snap to Brady, drops back. He lobs it to the right side for Gronkowski. Has a step, has a touchdown! Patriots! Short drop, quick throw. Edelman makes the grab left side, moves inside, slips a hit. Julian ducks under 2 more defenders and dives to the 42 of Seattle. Tom short drop, looks left, throws for Edelman. Touchdown! Patriots! They're back in the lead in Super Bowl 49. New England Patriots are on to a celebration thanks to a job well done. A 4th Lombardi trophy is headed to one Patriot place.
Number 11, Unicorns, Show Ponies, Where's the Beef? 2013 versus the Saints. Brady throws game-winning touchdown with 5 seconds left.
Stands up in the pocket, starts to run with it, throws over the middle. It is caught there out to the 21-yard line. Stands in the pocket, steps up, fires down the field, caught. Troy Brown at the 40. Fires over the middle, caught by Jermaine Wiggins down to the 30-yard line of St. Louis. Throws the ball to the ground with 7 seconds left. Adam Vinatieri, 48-yard field goal attempt. Set to go, snap ball down, kick up. Kick is on the way, and it is good! It's good! It's good!
Number 10, snow bombs away in 2009, Week 6 versus the Titans. Brady throws for 368 yards and 6 touchdowns in a 59-0 win. That's more like a shellacking.
Throws down the middle for Edelman. Ball's tipped. And Julian diving for it. Has it. Did he make the catch? He did.
You gotta be
at
kidding
the 40. Throws it for Edelman. Goal line. Touchdown, Patriots. He backs up. He steps up. He throws down the middle in traffic. Catch by Edelman. First down grab in front of Alford. Toss sweep right for James White. Tucks it up with the right arm. Cuts it upfield. Driving forward. Diving to the goal line. It's a touchdown. And a title for the Patriots. I can't believe it.
Number 9, a perfect finale. 2007 at the New York Giants, Brady sets an NFL record with his 50th touchdown pass to beat the New York Giants 38-35.
World Championships, 3 out of 4. Yes, it's a dynasty. Look, fires to the right, touchdown, First and goal at the Eagle 2. Double setback, back to throw, Brady fires, end zone, caught, touchdown in the end zone, flags go down after the play. It's Vrabel, Mike Vrabel. All right, and the Patriots are world champions again, 24-21.
Number 8, 2014 AFC division game against the Baltimore Ravens, Brady throws for 367 yards and 3 touchdowns in a come-from-behind win.
Brady, play action fake, fires, end zone, touchdown, Deion Sanders. Patriots grab the lead. Action fake, Brady fires. Touchdown! Touchdown in the end zone! Fires. Caught. First down. Carolina 23-yard line. Caught by Deion Branch. First down, Patriots for Adam Vinatieri. Snap. Ball down. Kick up. Kick is on the way. Kick is good! Kick is good! Adam Vinatieri.
At number 7, we all know this game, the Snow Bowl. 2001 AFC Division game against the Raiders. Brady throws it 52 times for 312 yards and 1 rushing touchdown in the snow.
He looks long. He throws it down the left side for Dorsett, and he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots! Throws down the middle, Edelman open in midfield, makes the catch on 3rd and 10. In the pocket, throws down the middle. Gronk makes the catch at the 20, and he's tackled, caught at the shoelaces by Berry as he skids to the 15. Runs it left for the win! Touchdown, Patriots! And they're bound for Super Bowl 53!
What a call, Sosi. We're going back, baby.
Number 6, the shootout at Arrowhead. 2018 AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Brady throws for 348 yards and 1 touchdown.
Looks, stands, starts to run with it. He is down to the 5, and he's in. Touchdown, Tom Brady. Brady stands in the pocket, fires to the near side, caught by David Patton. He's across the 25, and for a first down to the Oakland 22-yard line. Kick is up.
Number 5, the Panthers versus the Patriots, Super Bowl 38. Brady throws 354 yards and 3 touchdowns, wins Super Bowl MVP.
Tom throws for Gronkowski. Catch is made. Touchdown, Patriots. Throws to the left side for LaFell. Touchdown, Patriots! What a throw from Tom Brady to Brandon LaFell. And New England finally has the lead.
Number 4, yes, it's a dynasty, Super Bowl 39. Brady throws for 236 yards and 2 touchdowns as Patriots repeat as the Super Bowl champions.
Fires it to the right, down the right sideline, and caught at the 20-15, 10-5, touchdown, Patriots. Tom Brady to Randy Moss, and they each have set NFL records on the go-ahead touchdown. 65-yard bomb. Brady to Moss for Tom Brady. Touchdown pass number 50, an NFL record.
Number 3, 28-3 Super Bowl 51. Brady throws it 62 times for 466 yards and 2 touchdowns, wins Super Bowl MVP.
Brady calling signals, play action fake. Back to throw. Fires it down the right side. Wide open. Wes Welker is going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown. Takes the handoff. Tosses it back to Brady on a flea flicker. Brady looking, throwing long and deep. And touchdown, Randy Moss. 41 yards. Flea flicker.
Number 2, Tom Brady. He just gives me the chills, this guy. Super Bowl 36. Brady engineers a last-minute drive to lead the Patriots to their first Super Bowl championship and win Super Bowl MVP.
Throws it to the end zone for Kenbrell Tompkins, leaping.
He got it! Touchdown! Patriots! Unicorns! Show ponies! Where's the beef? Boy, when you thought you'd seen it all, when it's total despair, 14 years in the league, this situation after situation he's been through, and to elevate a rookie, my God.
And at number 1, finally 4, Super Bowl 49. Brady throws for 328 yards and 4 touchdowns to win his 3rd Super Bowl MVP.
Brady fires a 99-yard touchdown pass from their own 1-yard line. And look at this. Brady's going to go with an empty backfield. Now that's putting the pressure on himself. Brady takes the snap, back to throw, gets rid of it down the field. Caught! 20-yard line, 30, 35, 40, down the left sideline. He's going to go the distance. A 99-yard touchdown play. How about that? Unbelievable. How about that?
Those are the top 12 moments from Tom Brady. You can catch that video at Patriots.com. Everyone should go watch it. Let's get back to Patriots Unfiltered.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want on your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
And now, great moments in history.
If they didn't have joint practices, I think this 3 would be a 3.
Do you know the difference between a joint and a blunt and a spliff?
I heard this today.
I heard a little of that talk today.
I didn't know what a blunt was. I had to have it explained to me, and I don't know if I
Isn't
still
a blunt
know.
a rolled cigarette?
Oh, it's a rolled
It's a
cigar.
cigar.
Rolled cigar?
Joint is in paper,
All
and a
this-
spliff is mixed tobacco and weed.
Is it now?
Like,
Is
like
it
in The Gentleman. That's what he makes himself a nice 50-50 mix.
now? Is it is it pronounced? It's a spliff.
Spliff, yeah.
I don't know why I
Spleef?
thought it was spliff.
Spleef.
Oh, spliffy if you want.
Pronounced spliff?
Spliffy. Now, as I understand it, Matthew, it's pronounced spliff. Is that correct?
Drugs are bad.
Okay. Yeah. No, I did. I learned a little something today listening to Hardy and Arcans.
But the blunt is marijuana pot dope, as you would acquire and enjoy it. But the blunt itself is actually just the roll. Is that correct?
Correct. It's just different names for the
'Cause
way
you wrap
you're
it in
smoking
tobacco.
What about the chronic?
Oh, you.
Chronic's the type of marijuana.
I mean, I lived in California. I mean, come on.
What about the White Widow Super Cheese? What is that now? Okay, can we go?
This is why we got to shorten the post game show to an hour after these night
This is
games.
the best part. This is what people stay up for. The guy in UK, he's still listening. It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
We're here to provide a service.
What is the stickiest of the icky? I need to know.
What about the chronic?
That's another great moment from
All right. Patriots Unfiltered is brought to you by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Great memories are made in Massachusetts no matter how you choose to make them. Indoors or outdoors, scenic views or city vibes, solo or family style. Whatever moves you, whatever the season, plan your perfect Massachusetts getaway at visitma.com. Leaf peepers on their way, right?
What?
Are
yeah.
the leaves changing?
I got you.
Starting to change?
The other leaf. Not
Well, I
the
got
one
some
that
leaf
was
peepers
discussed on the
coming in
break.
early November to peep some leaves. Is that too late for leaf peeping?
It depends on the weather, I guess.
know.
I
That's
don't
what we
know.
can't figure out, you know?
Because it seems like the
Family.
seasons are delayed a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah.
Global warming.
Yeah.
They
something.
say we're going to have a really colorful fall, though, because of all the rain this summer.
Oh, that makes sense.
Be fun.
What the people are saying on
I
the
mean,
Farmer's
I've never
Almanac.
remembered having my lawn green all through August.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So it's because of the rain.
Rain, who knows?
Yep.
Hopefully there's no snow.
All right, back here in
In
Patriots
August?
Unfiltered, 855-PASS-500 is the Ace Ticket Hotline. Web radio at patriots.com is the email address. We're back to 3 shows a week. Deuce, Tamara, Alex, Paul, myself, Matt in the booth. Evan is out moving, but he did email us. What's he saying?
I don't know. He's just.
You don't know?
He had something kind of cryptic, which I don't know if I'm clear to share, but it sounds like what we were talking about with Jack Jones, that there might be something brewing there today with him pleading out.
Let's hope. Let's hope. Get that clarified and get him in the starting lineup. Then we can have our bet.
But
I'm concerned for Evan listening to the show and writing in and what his fiance is going to do when she sees him doing this. She's going to take the phone, confiscate it.
Treading carefully, I hope.
So let's hope that guy in all seriousness, let's hope that guy on 98.5 today was right.
Yeah.
And it's going to end today.
But it's like, but again, like when you plead out, you're saying, yeah, I did it. Do with me what you will.
But I did what?
Like,
right.
That's what I just,
Sometimes you plead to a lesser charge.
Right.
Hence the deal.
And then it's a deal.
And is that just like
Make the
possession?
deal. As Tamara will tell you from Law and Order.
I was just going to say, do you remember back in the old days with, what was it, Schiff?
Yeah.
The old days. Just make the deal.
You better make it. You better get this right. It's going to be your job and my job and everybody's job.
Make the deal. He wanted to make the deal every time, and obviously you knew they weren't going to make the deal, otherwise there would be no show.
Right. He always just wanted to, wash his hands of every
Do
case.
less, lazy.
That was when like Sam Waterston was the ADA, right?
Oh, the OG.
Jack McCoy.
Him and
love Jack
Michael
McCoy.
Moriarty.
I
You
love
probably
him.
you probably weren't even alive when those guys were on the water. Michael
yeah.
Moriarty was like one of the original ADAs. Too.
Yeah, he was the first one.
I have gone back to season 1 actually and watched it. It's crazy how different it looks.
Yeah.
from
Paul
now.
Sorvino.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I never even watched those. Only SVU.
SVU is the best.
I
SVU
won't
is the
let my
best
wife
one.
watch
Only the dark one?
SVUs.
You learn a lot.
They're too. It's kids
Yeah.
getting raped and
Yeah.
women getting raped, and it's just it's not good for you.
It taught me to
Don't
be
watch
very
that.
careful.
It teaches you
It took
so
you that?
much.
It taught me to be like an anxious mess.
Like, I've been watching this
Yeah.
SVU, and there's some
like-
bad characters out there.
No.
Yeah, but also, would you rather your wife just like blissfully skipping through
listen.
a parking garage at night, or be kind of
Or
like, yo, my
someone who
keys
watched
are in
SVU
between my
and is like,
knuckles
Yeah, we
and I'm
don't.
ready to go.
We don't need the TV show to teach us that.
You
Keys
do
in between
though.
the knuckles,
You
ready
do
to go.
though.
That's
I
why
mean,
women love true crime so much. It's because we feel like we're getting preparation. I don't personally like true crime that much, but women I've
you're
talked
getting
to,
prepared
they
to
feel like
commit
they're
the
getting prepared to be defending themselves or to get themselves out of a
Okay.
situation
I mean,
like that.
in a sense, like you don't like walk down the street of New York like always in your phone. You should always pay attention to like, is someone following you 10 blocks?
Absolutely.
Like, is someone coming in behind you in your apartment? Like,
Have that
those
mace
little
in your
things.
I
pocketbook.
watched a TikTok video of a girl bear macing the hell out of some guy who was trying to get into her apartment with her, and
Oh.
like, yeah, that's just happening now. So
Yeah.
They,
Your
see,
wife
you learn a
shoulda.
lot. You learn a lot. Also, I really like the crossover episodes, like when the regular Law and Order and
Yeah.
SVU work together. It is amazing.
or when they mix in with the Chicago,
Yes.
Chicago Fire.
Oh, that's
Yes.
really new.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen a Chicago Fire.
Just so you know, those have been on for like 10 years too. You know,
Chicago Fire?
Chicago PD, Chicago Fire. I think there's a
Those are the
Chicago
best.
Med
There's a
too.
Med
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Too
They
much.
are amazing.
And they all cross over with each other, and it's all the
Fire.
same
Well, the
director.
FBI series
It's
crosses
the same
over too,
director
and that's
as
another
Law and
Dick
Order, I
Wolf,
think.
right?
I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's all Dick
I
Wolf.
need
Yeah.
to watch
Now there's a regular FBI, then there's an international, and then there's a Most Wanted. Then it's like 8, 9, and 10.
CSI still going?
The international one I don't really love.
No.
What's the criminal intent? Law and Order criminal intent too.
Yes.
It's a new CSI though.
And now there's organized crime.
Organized
Law and Order.
crime with Stabler.
Yes.
Right.
Jeez.
Boy, to beat Dick Wolf, huh?
More money.
Raking.
Okay,
Careful.
so I wonder. I'm like, is he paranoid? Like coming up with all these senios and stories? Like, is he paranoid?
No, he's
or
just
is he
sitting in his
Oh, I'm
mansion
sure-
while his
He's
writers
just
come up
directing,
with like
yeah. I'm
sure he's
twisted
got-
stories.
He's like just sitting back right now. Everybody else is doing the work. Yeah. But anyway, back to football.
As we all know, the stories are ripped from the headlines.
855-PATS-500 is the Ace Ticket hotline. Web radio at patriots.com is the email address. Let's get to the Ace Ticket hotline. Jeff's in Maine. What's up, Jeff? Jeff. I know you're there. I hear you. Oh, no, he hung up.
Jeffrey.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, Jeff.
Just waited till he
You
got
know,
his
you
chance.
call.
I don't think you could hear
You
me.
wait for 20 minutes and then you hang up. Good.
You
Whatever
hung
you
up
wanna
on
do.
You do you, Jeff. Whatever.
Whatever you want to do. Let's see. Christian from North Charlotte writes in.
Ooh, a new
Last
Christian.
show,
Christian.
Paul said, "What are you
Uh-oh.
doing as a fan if you don't go into a season with optimism?" I want to counter this argument being the fan with no optimism.
Okay. All right. Good.
1, the roster building has been terrible this offseason. 2, our first-round pick so far looks like he needs a year to truly be a top-tier player. 3, we may have one of the worst O-lines in the league this year. 4, finally, we are essentially having to rely on the downfall of teams to make a playoff push this year. 8 and 9 is the ceiling for this team, I think, until we get a new GM. I want to be realistic about this team, and hopefully I get surprised this year. That's the most optimism I can give you. Okay.
I would push back a little on 2 and 3.
Yeah.
First of all, I think the offensive line right now is dealing with a lot of injuries, and these guys are getting back. I think if 3 weeks from now they don't suffer any more injuries, I think you're going to look at that and say, okay, we're all right. Right? Trent Brown, Cole Strange, David Andrews, Mike Onwenu, and Calvin Anderson. Like, I think it's not the best offensive line in the world, but I don't think you'll be looking at that and say, well, no one could compete behind that offensive
There's like
line.
an epidemic of bad lines right now. I feel like too. So
Yeah,
it's
most
just
of them
hard
end
to
up in the
believe.
Super Bowl somehow. I don't know how that goes, but
here's my prediction:
Tooney, you know.
if Mac Jones is 30% better than he was as a rookie, the Patriots will be vying for the playoffs at the end of the year.
if he makes a 30% improvement over a good year, they'll be in the playoff.
No, but
hunt.
here's the thing about it. I've heard people say if Mac Jones can just be as good as he was as a
I agree
rookie,
with
that's
you.
not good enough.
No, I know
that's
where you're
not
coming
good
from
enough.
on that. I agree.
He faltered down the end, and he was very controlled. If they played him the same way this year that they did 2 years ago, Patriots will do nothing.
Yeah.
He's got to be markedly better than he was as a rookie.
I forget what the third one was there, but 2 and 3 I didn't necessarily think were fair.
Well, the team building stuff. I mean, I
Yeah,
agree and I
think
disagree.
I think
I mean,
that's
I like
fair.
some of their draft picks, but and I think that's where it needs to come from. Obviously, in hindsight, you would have loved to maybe drafted a tackle, a real tackle,
Right.
or signed a tackle who wasn't in their mid-30s.
Yeah,
and that's
I'm-
roster building.
The way Mike is like the little subtle words, real tackle in the mid-30s, part really low is
Words
just
have power.
So that's another one that's sort of stuck with me. Riley Reef,
Mhm.
right? We mentioned at the beginning of the show he was placed on IR, right? He spent a week maybe playing tackle.
Sure.
And then the rest of camp in the preseason playing guard, right?
Yep.
Yesterday he gets moved on injury reserve, and the headlines were all projected starter at
Right,
tackle.
right.
Well, I don't think Bill Belichick looked at it that way.
Didn't he get hurt in the third quarter of the preseason
Playing
game?
guard.
Playing guard.
But
in the
my
last
my
preseason
thing
game.
is tackle.
Yeah.
I think he may have been a starter, but I don't think they were planning on starting him at tackle
I
based
think-
on
right.
what I saw in
Right. It was
in
obvious to
training
everybody.
camp.
He couldn't hang out there still. He
was
moved
playing
He
guard.
probably would have been okay.
Yeah.
He probably still will be okay as their third guard. It might even just come down to him or Mafi,
So here's another interesting thing off of that. Ian Rappaport from NFL
Rap
Network.
sheet?
Crap sheet.
Crap sheet.
He said not I forget the exact wording, but not expected or not necessarily a season-ending injury
For the Reef?
For Reef, which tells me I'm not necessarily sure he's going to be back in 4 weeks or available in 4 weeks.
I know some people have kind of highlighted that decision. I mean, I don't know if that was a necessity to have to play him in the third preseason game, but I mean, given the situation you already were in with the offensive line, it was. I mean, maybe they had a bead already that Onwenu and Strange were going to be okay, but still, that's a tough one. Lose, somebody who, I mean, not necessarily a projected starter, but I think if he was healthy, he was definitely playing this week. I don't know if he was.
So
starting,
when you talk about Onwenu, Cole Strange, and maybe even Trent Brown, to start this game against the Eagles, do you play the guys that had more reps this summer and then rotate in the guys who are the projected starters, or do you do it the other way around?
The other way around.
You put in the guys that.
Yeah, I think I would put in the guys, but I think that for Cole Strange to not really have done anything all this summer, and then to get a test like this against a team that these are the big kind of guys that
you
he
kind of
struggles
see
with.
what's going on with Philly's front, and then okay, we're getting killed. We got to put Cole Strange in, or we got to put Onwenu in. Then we kind of know what to expect.
Yeah,
I
I wonder too. Just like a factor for me is like just the energy of the first game, and how much energy is that Philly defensive line going to come out with? I would expect they're going to come out for week 1, and the place is going to be rocking, and they're going to feel like the underdogs because they're in Midway Stadium, and I would expect they're going to come with a lot of energy right at the top. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely feel more like start with the starters, but I also am just like, are those guys ready to handle what's going to come at them right out of the gate?
It's like if they wear down.
Yeah.
What do you do in the second half?
Got nowhere to go. I mean, I think it's like Paul said. It's going to be a little bit of a mix, and you'll work Mafi in, and you'll
Assuming
probably
they're
work
healthy,
So in a little bit.
assuming Strange, and that's a big assumption because he hasn't really been a full participant in back-to-back practices and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's a big assumption. But if they're healthy enough to be out there, then I think that they should start and play as much as they can. Now, I don't expect them, like I've been saying for a week now or 2 weeks. I don't expect them to go wire to wire. I think that's asking too much. And Rappaport's tweet was, placed Riley Reef on injury reserve, though it's not believed to be season-ending. That to me,
There's some wiggle room of it could possibly
like,
be.
To me, if it, I wasn't really thinking of it in terms of a season-ending injury, but my guess is that's in play.
I mean, to be honest, not to say that it's ever
No,
a
I
good
know.
thing that
I
somebody
know,
got
I know.
injured, but
I
like
agree with you.
if they get kind of the Band-Aid torn off and it's like, well, sorry, you just got to play Jake Andrews now, or you got to play Mafi more than you might have wanted to. Like, those things are more in the long-term interest of the team than making sure Riley Reef gets back.
Neil in New Brunswick, is this team any good? On paper, the AFC is way too good for us to compete. Name 5 teams in the AFC that on paper are worse than the Patriots.
Indy, Houston,
on
Cleveland,
paper.
the Raiders.
See, some would argue the Raiders aren't. They have more talent.
I think they're in rebuilding mode.
Yeah. So that's 4. Yeah.
Broncos?
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, it all depends on
Seattle?
Sean Payton there.
Seattle?
No, they're in the NFC.
Yeah, they're in the other.
Yeah, it's. I get the guy's point.
Yeah.
I get the emailer's point. I think if you're
It's
stacking up,
the better conference.
But you have to. If you're looking for more than what the Patriots have accomplished so far, you're banking a lot on Bill Belichick and Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
Like they're going to coach us through this.
He says our only hope is a leap by Mac Jones to be a bona fide franchise quarterback, which I believe is possible, but the O-line disaster Bill created makes it even less likely.
Well, if that happens, if Mac Jones makes the leap to franchise quarterback, now your roster is not where people think it is right now.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your talent is better than people think it is. If you have an elite quarterback on your team, that's part of your talent on your roster. And I don't think a lot of people look at Mac Jones that way right now.
Anthony says you can plead no contest in a case and take a deal from the prosecution without admitting guilt. So, okay.
I guess we'll wait to see what exactly transpired, but I think it's a good point by Paul that just because he's out of that legal network,
I just worry about the
mean,
league.
Could the league come down and be like,
I worry
by
about
the way,
league. I think that for the most part lately they seem to be, kind of lenient, but you never know. And if you know they're going to screw the Patriots, right?
Yeah. Jeff in Maine is
what you're
back.
supposed to say?
What's up, Jeff?
I'm back. You guys hear me?
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
Thank you, Jeff.
So the AFC is just loaded all around. The NFC, I would say, is more top-heavy with a lot more bottom-of-the-barrel teams. Where would you rank the Patriots in the NFC? I think I'd have them as the 5th or 6th best team. I'll take it off the air. Thanks, guys.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, and
NFC?
like in the division, like if you just like extrapolate it to they're in the NFC East, I would say Philadelphia and Dallas are both better than them.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably on par with the Giants.
Yeah.
In Washington, maybe better than Washington.
Yeah.
But if you put them in like the AFC South, I think they would run away with it.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they're by far the best of those 4 teams.
So maybe not top 5, but they could be definitely top 10 in the NFC. And maybe,
they better be top 10 in the AFC.
Close to 5 or close to 6, maybe.
Yeah.
But
it's just all on paper, and I think that's what we're all excited for. It's like, you spend all season, all summer reading like the previews and this and that, and they added this guy and that guy, and then this guy and that guy get hurt, and until you start playing the games, you really get a sense for who these teams are and who suddenly has caught a little magic.
Did you hear, Fred, on my station this morning when that guy who called in about the Jack Jones information that looks like he was right?
Yeah.
Did you hear like when Rich kept talking about like, well, now we can get away with all the fake stories. It's real football now, and like, what fake stories have there been?
I don't know.
Like, just because it's preseason doesn't mean the stories are. Been.
Yeah. I guess Zappy versus Mac was kind of a fake story, but
no, it wasn't. I don't think that was a fake story. I think
least
Mac
by
played better than
week
Zappy.
2.
You don't think Mac played better than Zappy?
Well, no, I just don't think it was a back and forth quarterback competition story this summer. It was, maybe.
Well, I don't think that was the story. The story was that Zappy was going to have a chance to compete.
Well, that was what I said.
And Mac killed him.
Bad story. That's what I mean. Wasn't a story.
Oh, I disagree. I think it was a story. I think they did have a chance to compete, and Zappy fell back.
But you felt like that was a dramatic story that went on through.
Oh, a dramatic story?
Training
no,
camp?
I don't think it was a story.
It was like the first couple days.
I think it was a story.
I
think it was a story until preseason started. Then it wasn't a story.
And then we
anymore.
were still kind of beating the horse with it. And that's the only point I
what
was
about
trying to make. Like,
Matt, Bill hates Mac and
that was a story. But the offensive line health, I don't think that's a fake story.
No, that's not a fake story.
Like
I just think it's
Jack Jones' situation. I don't think is a fake story.
I just think it's the overreaction in both directions of good or poor performances in a training camp practice, or like just reading too much into what happens when quarterbacks don't really have pressure, and those are the stories you get kind of carried away with.
That I would agree.
with.
But like I've also heard many people say, like, what's the big reason? Our own Bob Sosi this morning was on one of those stations. Give any reason for option? Well, the immense improvement on offense.
Immense improvement.
They haven't played a game.
With that small sample size?
We saw 3 series.
And they weren't good in that 3 series sample size either.
Yeah, and I'm like, the only thing you can say immense improvement on is that it actually looks like an offense is being run. Like, it's in terms of, like, not a lot of like miscommunication, and it looks clean.
Yeah.
That's improvement.
It's faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have it because I'm a believer in Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
So I have the faith, and I understand that. But when I would say that, I wouldn't say, well, the improvement on offense.
Yeah, no.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. It's a question. I think we all feel better about the scheme, but I think that only takes you so far. And at a certain point, the players take over, and those are the ones that take
Fred's
you to the
point
next
about
level.
Mac Jones' rookie year.
Yeah.
The scheme brought them only so far.
And that's why I just wonder, like, even with 30% better Mac Jones, like, what if you don't have the same defensive turnover output or touchdown
sure.
output, or
Yeah.
like there's all kinds of these little.
Oh,
It's
you
not
don't know
just
how to
like
do it. You
let's
don't
just
know how to
pump
do
this
it, Mike.
knob up and the other knobs will all stay
I
right
know.
where they
No,
were.
Mike, if you just don't allow 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
Right,
You
it's
don't
like
eliminate the
whack-a-mole.
punt return you had for a touchdown and the 17 fumble returns you had for touchdowns.
Yeah.
Those all stay the same. You don't get it.
But I think part of it too, though, is if Mac is 30% better, then I think that's a good energy for the team. And the team,
course.
because I do think that some of the stuff you've been seeing about players talking about Mac, everybody's how's Mac, all that constant. That I do all think that nobody really questions how hard that kid works and how dedicated he is to the. But it doesn't mean that he's going to be an NFL superstar. But
Right.
I think everyone in the locker room respects his work ethic and the energy that he brings every day. It's just ultimately got to come down to he's got to perform. He's got to make that throw in the fourth quarter that they have to have that score. That he's got to make those plays to put him over the top.
And I need that 30% better to be in the red zone.
Yeah.
Like
That'd be a great place to start.
That needs to be where I need to see improvement.
If we can get there. But, I mean, but I think that there's no doubt on every team that has a franchise quarterback, they set the tone. Whether it's Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts or Aaron Rodgers now with the Jets, Brady goes down to Tampa and changed the culture. The quarterback is the leader. And if they play well, it trickles down. It trickles down, obviously, to the offense, but also the defense. It gives them hope. They play a little bit harder. They have a little bit more confidence,
Just wonder at the NFL level, how long do players buy what coaches and quarterbacks are selling in terms of, just believing they can do it? Like any coach I could walk in as a coach and say, this is what we're going to do. And, but at a certain point, people just kind of stop believing you. Like if you're not getting results.
No,
it's
I think that's a
I
think that's a big. Did you see the clips of? And I don't even know what it is. It's like one of those in-season Hard Knockses, like on Showtime or something with Jonathan Gannon in Arizona.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, but if I were a football player, I'm like that's my leader. I don't know how you can talk like that and expect to command a room. Now he might be brilliant. I don't know a whole lot about Jonathan Gannon, except for I know that the Eagles fans weren't overly happy with him last year as defensive coordinator.
Yep.
But I don't know much about his whole personality or whatever. But just on that little clip, and it's dangerous to go off of Twitter. Not a guy necessarily I'd want to go to battle.
What was he saying about taking the bus?
Like, how'd you get here today? Did you hear that, Fred? Did you see it? How soft spoken he was?
No. I mean, listen, if what you're saying is good, you can, you don't have to be.
No, I don't think Bill is a fire and brimstone guy, but I
Yeah.
think he certainly motivated his team pretty well for 20 years.
What do you think about Deion Sanders?
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh, wow.
It's just flexing.
We're not coming. We're here.
He is built different. Yeah. I mean, just looking at all the clips from the press conference of people asking him questions, and before he answers your question, he's like, "Do you believe?"
Right.
Because I saw your article, so do you believe now? And I'm like, "Oh,
it's just,
okay."
I don't know.
That stuff's silly.
I know people. It's great. It's great theater. It's great entertainment, but
I will say
he's setting up that team for a hard fall.
Yes, but I was a little bit, I guess, shocked. Not shocked that they won, but shocked, I guess, just to see them come out and play the way they did. Especially they weren't playing like some off-brand team.
No, that's a good win.
I mean, his son was throwing dimes.
Yeah. His son can play.
Yeah, I mean.
So it would have been bad.
But the way Deion makes it all about him, it's like, oh, come on.
But I mean, it would have been bad. So the video that went out when he first got to the school and he got rid of all those players. It would have been so bad if he got rid of all those players and they came out and they're just horrible.
Yeah.
But
and that's to my point, it gives him some credit now. So this week in the locker room, there are probably some players who I don't want to say were on the fence with, but just all right, is this real? He's a lot of hype, and now
there were no players in that locker room on the fence because he got rid of all those guys. Do you know he has 84 new players?
Yeah, that's fair.
Crazy.
But even more so today, after that game, they're
bought in.
And I think that's what people like. I think that was sort of mischaracterized, and you can come at if you want to say, like, did you believe, I guess he really gave Ed Woodard a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, media guys should be big guys. You know, I'm a big boy. I wrote something, and you proved that to be 100% wrong. You have to take your medicine. Like, how many times have I said, like, listen, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Richard Seymour, I was wrong.
That's
I
all we
didn't think
do,
it was,
right?
I mean, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
And if I was in that press conference and I asked a question and he wouldn't answer it and said, do you believe? I would have said, no, you're right, I didn't. And I still don't.
Yeah.
This probably would have been my answer.
Yeah. Right.
But you should, as a media person, you should have to take that.
Yeah.
Like the media hue and cry Saturday afternoon.
Like you
Absolutely.
can't.
This is no way to. No, when you write stuff, you should be accountable, just like the coaches and the
Right.
players have to be
Well,
accountable.
writers arguably have as big of egos as
Way
a guy
bigger.
like Deion.
Way
so
bigger.
It's like
Now, the
you're
only thing
just-
I would
it's
say is
fuel and
I don't think a lot of people don't think Deion Sanders has the ability to coach. They didn't agree with the way he went about doing this.
Yeah.
And I would stand by that.
Yeah.
I don't think he had to get rid of 75 players like he did. He goes, I only kicked 20 of them off. The rest of them left. Well, what do you think they're left for? And I think the ones that he kept were like the kicker or something, or the punter. Like, I think you can bring in your fair amount of guys from your team, like your son, and add transfer portal guys. I think what I think he did was he went to the best schools and looked at like the 2 and 3 deep and said, would you rather be third string there or come and play for me right away?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any problem with that. But you didn't have to kick everybody off the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what he did. And I think a lot of people, that rubbed people the wrong way.
I'll be interested to see, and this is my last take on college football because I love it.
right.
But
Well, I know why you're out on college football. I was on your Twitter
it's
feed
been
on
like,
Saturday.
It's been like 10 minutes since you watched the Virginia Tech intro. You gotta step out.
She was not happy Saturday
no,
afternoon.
that's a story for a
No,
different day. But I'll be interested to see when they go up against, is it USC in 2 weeks?
Oh, they'll get killed.
What his reaction is going to be in the locker room and his press conference when the media comes to him, with questions, as they should. Like, I hope he keeps that same energy and taking accountability and understanding that, like, hey, this is why people were writing what they were before.
Yeah.
So, because this week they have Nebraska. They're not good.
They're going to beat Nebraska.
Yeah.
Now,
But
Although Nebraska was favored by 8, and now the
Really?
line has changed since that win.
But
Yeah.
Nebraska stinks.
yeah.
Yeah, but they were favored.
But that USC game is going to be a tough test, and I'll
Yeah.
be interested to see how he responds.
Now, I would love to see them prove everybody wrong and be great, because I think it's good for college football
absolutely.
to have someone upset the apple cart and do different things. And I would love to see that happen if they were to beat like Oregon and USC and Oregon State. And, but I think that most people look at their schedule and say, they'll go like 7-5, maybe 6-6. And that would be
Which,
like,
to
all right,
me, is
they beat the teams they were supposed to beat.
first time D1 coach. That's good. If he went 7-5, 6, I mean, I think all credit to him if he can do that. I don't know.
I don't think that's much of an accomplishment.
His first year as a head coach in D1, I think.
Well,
it
he's been
is.
coaching.
I know. No, he hasn't been coaching for long.
Yeah, he has.
What, 4 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And I think he has an entire roster full of Division I players that he poached from other
But Paul,
teams.
as you know, Paul,
It's
it's
not
not
like
about collecting talent. It's about building a team.
Yeah, well, in college,
Iron sharpens iron, Paul.
in college football, it's about collecting talent.
He's playing the greatest hits over here.
Like Kirby Smart and Nick Saban collect talent. Like that's why they beat everybody.
Yeah,
Ryan Day has a lot of talent. That's why he wins.
You still got to coach him up. You got to coach him up.
Well, there's just a mix to it. I don't think it's easy to cultivate. You can't really recruit and build a team. It's bit by bit. But I think that good teams have a certain thing.
If he did that, if he just came in and said, "Listen, this is going to take time. This is we have to get our players into the program," then I would say, with Fred's point, 6-6, that's remarkable. But he brought all the talent in.
Yeah.
So he took away that sort of grace period, that rebuild.
What about
They're not rebuilding.
That
they
number 12 kid that played both ways.
Yeah, if he can do that all year too, more power to them. And I'm rooting for that. Like I said, that's why I love Ohtani so much.
Yeah.
Because I love the unconventional.
Yeah.
If people say you can't do that, well, why? Where is it written?
Right.
If this kid plays every play like that, that was an amazing performance.
Yeah.
I would be on board with watching that.
Love that. Love that.
Love that for you.
If he shuts down Caleb Williams, to Mara's point,
right, yeah.
and that kid is picking off a couple of passes and being a shutdown corner, that's great. What a great story that would be.
Kevin's in South Carolina. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, by the way, you want to know You want to know if Deion's a good coach? Watch the last game Jackson State played. All those dudes are gone. That team got crushed.
What?
So Jackson State got crushed?
Yeah, all the players left.
Mm-hmm.
I will take over, Fred. I watch everything you guys do on video on demand. I love it, and I'm always working, so it's my first time getting a call in over a year. I have for you the performance reviews you didn't ask for.
Oh, boy.
Good management. Iron indeed strikes and sharpens iron. Conflict drives good content. Good work.
Okay.
Deuce.
Yeah.
Deuce, I love your heel turn. I love it, but I still miss the Brady song.
There you go.
Alex.
What's up?
You throw darts. You always hit. Don't be afraid of throwing more darts. I love everything you do. I'm calling you, by the way, from Bluffton, South Carolina, which is where Haley Bieber married Justin.
Okay.
My parents are just down
Tamara.
Cool story.
I'm sorry I'm rolling on y'all. Yeah. But watching on Saturdays makes you better on Sundays. I love the content. And I love the social media minute. Thank you.
There you go.
Paul, I am from the Boston suburbs. You are from the Boston suburbs. Needham?
No.
Nope.
Everett.
Oh, it's
Everett.
real
Excuse
Boston.
me.
Not a suburb.
Not from a suburb.
In that case, I'm sure you'll take this well. You are rude, just like me.
Okay.
And I'm trying to assimilate here in South Carolina. I've been here 14 years. And let me tell you, you use comedy as a love language. And watching specifically Tamara assimilate from a Southern culture up north, what I've really enjoyed is that she's got a great sense of humor, and that you all, when you make each other laugh, is something I don't get enough of down here. And so, from what I can read, watching you on video on demand, you are all each other's biggest fans. I think that sentiment makes you better than what I see on radio, and I celebrate you. So all around.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right. Thanks for the call, Kevin. So we got our mid-year review right there.
I guess.
Can we just,
What was mine, Brady? What?
Heel turn.
Heel turn.
Yeah,
You know
heel
what?
turn.
That's a WWE
Yeah.
wrestling
I'm
thing.
rude.
You
No,
know, you're
I-
a good guy, and then you do your heel turn, you become a bad guy.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in his villain era.
Yeah.
Well, that's what 3 seasons of 500 football will do for
Right.
you.
He's just tired of 12-4. Adam's in Delaware. What's up, Adam?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good. So I don't know if I'm late to the subject or what. I just got home from work, so I apologize. But I have a question on like the game plan to start the game. I noticed that Pharaoh Brown was elevated from the practice squad to the 53, and I don't know. Just looking at the Eagles' front seven, is it really smart to go that heavy personnel to start the game? Because obviously, like the Eagles are just going to load the box and try and stop Ramondre and Zeke. And it's just like, you don't want to go 3 and out and get down 2 possessions to these guys, and then you just become pass happy. So like, do we set up for that 12 and just, obviously the smart thing to do would be wear him down so the pass rush doesn't get to Mac, or do we let Mac get up to the line, spread him out, set his adjustments, get his pre-snap adjustments right, and really attack the middle of the field where they have a rookie and they lost T.J. Edwards and then the 2 new safeties. I don't know. That's just some food for thought.
I just say I don't. Just because they
Thanks,
promoted
Adam.
Pharaoh Brown, I don't really see it as a signal that like it's a heavy tight end set. I just think that they needed a third tight end who can block, and I think that's what he is. Talked to him in their locker room yesterday. He seems, he's a very mature guy. Just seems like an experienced NFL veteran. But I think when you have limited tackle depth and you don't really have a tight end who can block, you'd love to have that guy who can sub in heavy packages from time to time, but not.
They're going to have like tackle eligible, like just for extra protection at times. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think that's exactly why
Yeah.
they would put him out there. I don't think you can do that with Henry or Gesicki. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised at times if they're up against it and they have to throw. That Pharaoh Brown's just the guy out there blocking.
Just as an extra,
yeah, because they don't have a tackle.
But they also, I think, because he's right. The caller's right. They are big. I mean, the Eagles are big, and if you go 12 personnel, that probably keeps their big personnel on the field, and that might open up, some matchups for you.
Yeah. No, I think that's. I mean, just talking to everybody, it's, trying to get to their cornerback depth and trying to like what he said was. I think that's what Bill O'Brien does great. Like mix the packages. Guys are in and out. Make them keep up with you. Don't let them just line up and tee off on you. Be spinning the dial a lot and making them think about motions and RPOs and put all that stuff in their head so that it's not just Because if they just rush 3-4 guys and they just are pinning their ears back and trying to, test City So on his handful of snaps, that could be one play that changes the game.
Over under. Too many men on the field. Penalties for the Patriots. 1.5.
Under, Fred. This goes back to the coaching thing. Let's get back to a well-coached team that isn't going to beat itself.
Oh, wait, no. What you should have said is over under Trent Brown being offsides the first play of the game.
How many how many do we think is Trent Brown?
Can I get a clarification on your over under?
Yeah.
Does it count if they have to call timeout to avoid it?
Yes. Yes, it does.
No.
But then it's not technically a penalty.
Then under.
Okay. All right.
If it's if it's 1.5 and it counts they got called for 12 men and they had to call a timeout to avoid 2 others, I'll take the over.
Okay, how about this?
But I'll
then?
take the under if it's just penalties.
Once you get called for the penalty, anything after that, even if it's causing you to counts toward it.
Okay.
Once you get the one penalty, everything else then counts.
I'm saying.
So you're saying over?
No, I'll say
I'm
under.
saying under. And I think this just speaks to my bigger point.
It'll happen
of
once.
Wanting to get back to what we think this team should be, which like I said, they like last year. It's just the stupid mistakes in gotta have it moments, giving up 2 kickoff returns. I mean, how many moments could you go through the last 2 seasons and be like, geez, that's really not what we've come to believe about this team.
But that's
just
the
got
thing.
away
And
from
I
all
heard
that stuff.
somebody on one of Paul's shows saying, it was a caller actually, that said, those plays have now become characteristic. They used to be uncharacteristic of this team, but in the last 4 years, they've become characteristic.
I mean,
and that's bad.
Like the end of the Raiders game, that still is how does this team? So for me, I think we talked a lot about the matchup. Just for them, get back to not the stupid mistakes that are avoidable. And I mean, and to be fair to them, didn't seem a lot of that false start stuff in practice. Get back in the huddle. You don't know what you're doing. They seem like they got it, at least on the offensive side of the ball. But
it looks a little bit more well run.
I just, special teams breakdowns, stupid stuff in the big moments, those things. If they can't get over that stuff, then what are we even doing?
All right, little over-under game from Cody in Indiana. Mac Jones passing touchdowns for the season, 26 and a hay.
I think that's about a good hay. I'll say
I'm going to say over.
Yeah, I'll say
over. Better be over.
Yeah.
Alex, are you participating?
She just threw a dart. She just threw a dart and said under, I think.
I was thinking
throw
in my
those
head
darts.
what I
Throw
was
those
gonna
darts.
do,
Under, I
but-
hate him. Ping.
Number of Patriots with double-digit sacks, 1 and a hay.
Under.
I'm going to say over.
That's a good question. I like the questions that kind of
I'm gonna
reveal
say-
a lot in your answer.
Well, last year they
gonna
had 2.
I'm going to say over. I think Uche is
Philly
going to
had-
pull it out in the second half of the season.
I'm worried that we're putting too big of expectations on
them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Number of games, Paul gives the nod, 4 and a hay. Oh, under.
The old nod of the Patriots
the
have
odd
this
is-
sewed up.
The odd is
I haven't really given a nod in about 4 years.
No. Does it count as a nod if it's before the fourth? If it's not before the 5 minutes in the fourth quarter?
Right.
What's the point?
Maybe
then?
the Colts game I would have given
What
a
about
nod last year.
What about negative nods?
Well, in that case,
over.
I don't think Paul, that's not how Paul runs though.
That's not good for
because
my,
he'll always have that it'll be 40-0 in the second quarter. But I don't know though. They could come back.
Negative nods.
He'll go the other way.
Hunter Henry touchdowns, 6 and a hay.
Over.
Over.
I think
Over.
I feel good about that.
I see him getting back to what he was 2 years ago when he had 15, I think.
Did he?
Or was it 12?
I'm going to take
12,
the
yeah.
under on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Gesicki poaches some from him.
Zeke rushing yards, 500.
Under.
I'm going to say over.
I'm going to say
Under.
over.
But not a lot.
I think that's bad if it is.
I think under.
That means the other
Bad
guy
for
didn't have as many
Ramondre.
as we think.
What about
say under, too.
protecting the lead at the end and he like Corey
I
Dillon?
want Ramondre Stevenson doing that. I want to get first downs.
I think he can do it too. Anyway,
He did last year.
Weeks Alex is around for Thursday picks, 7 and a hay.
Good number. Good number.
Over.
Oh, a declaration. Well, she controls it, so I'm going to say over.
Yeah.
How many picks is she going to make?
I don't quite understand this email. Yemi in Texas says, this is about the third quarterback loophole. A loophole that the Saints exploited was to move Taysom Hill from tight end to quarterback. Then they can designate Jameis Winston as the emergency quarterback, which will allow them to have an extra player on the game day roster.
You can't do that.
I don't understand how that. Yeah.
That means Jameis Winston wouldn't be able to play.
Yeah.
So if he's your backup quarterback, that's not a good loophole. Now, in that case, Taysom Hill is capable of playing quarterback.
Right.
So, in other words, Malik Cunningham, you don't want playing quarterback, right?
I don't.
So that's not a good loophole.
Bad looper.
Let's see. Let's see. David says, 3 games to glory shout out from my favorite Brady memory. Before the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl, I put on 3 games to glory 4. Rewatching Brady and the Patriots go for the 4th Super Bowl after 10-year drought, 2 defeats to the Giants, coming back from 2 touchdowns twice against the number 1 defense is a core Brady memory and added to the roller coaster of emotion on the day of a 28-3 comeback.
I think you what are we talking about?
I don't know. Also,
Ravens?
if you have
Ravens
to say
game?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have to say today, will Bill Belichick be the general manager for the Patriots next year? Based on
If I have to say today, I say yes, he will.
Yeah. Based off the offensive weapons the last few years, here's hoping he's not. Is the deficiencies in the offensive line and lack of top-end talent at wide receiver because Bill believes it's more scheme than talent?
I don't know about what he believes. I just think they missed on the draft picks at those positions. And I mean, I saw somebody post like offensive players since 2012 that have gotten a second contract with the Patriots.
Well, first 3 rounds.
First
draft
3
picks.
rounds, yeah.
They have like 3 guys
right.
that have been good.
That right there. And that's the problem.
See, I think, like, I'm fine with Bill still having complete control. But I want that guy in the role of Matt Groh, whether it's Matt Groh or somebody else, to be really smart. So that when he gives Bill Belichick information, Bill says, okay. Because, A, I trust you, but B, that's a really good decision. That's really good scouting.
If Bill is the coach, then I want him in charge.
Yeah. I want
think
Bill,
that's the way it has
I want
to work.
Bill to be in charge, no doubt. But I also want Matt Groh to have, you know, the confidence of Bill, so that when Matt Groh says, no, we did the scouting, this guy is the guy we should pick, Bill listens to him.
That's what I feel like is not happening, though.
I don't know.
I feel like there's no way that I see Matt Groh and them saying, Cole Strange, that's our guy.
Well, everybody gave him credit for it.
Like, I'm just,
right?
Especially that early.
Remember, that was the fast draft.
Yeah.
That early. I was really confused about it. It's like, sure, you like Cole Strange, but that pick, that round, like, I just.
See, I think it's always been Bill, but wasn't that considered the Matt Groh draft?
I
You
mean,
want
that-
you
well,
want to
that
improve
was
your
the
speed
line,
across
yeah.
the board,
And
right?
that- and
it
that
was
was-
Cole Strange, Tyquan Thornton, Marcus
Strong.
Jones, Pierre Strong. You know, all these fast guys.
No, that draft is not
You
shaping
don't
up
hear
too
that
hot
as much.
right now.
You don't hear about that as much anymore. Now it's Bill's fault.
Yeah, I mean, whoever's fault it is, that draft class right now has a lot of work to do to turn around. And I mean, it's another one that, you know, pilot right there with 17, 18, 19 just bad drafts at the absolute worst time. And I hope that draft can still turn it around. I mean,
It's time.
You know,
There's time for
everybody got, you know, I think fired up when Matt Groh said all those things about speed, and I think we were all on the same page of you know, needing the offense to be more explosive, coming off, you know, 19, 20 when they just had nobody that could move. But right now it's hard not to, you know, talk about Matt Groh and that regime and feel like, well, they have a draft of their own that was kind of, you know, right now it doesn't look so hot. So
Do sound effects.
It's kind of Ferkser.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Ferkser draft.
Cole writes in. He says he used to be from Eugene, Oregon, but moved to Denver, Colorado. That's great.
Could still be.
One, why did the Patriots leak it to Mike Reese that Onwenu could play right tackle? Does this mean he won't play right tackle?
That's funny.
Did they do that? Did they leak something to Mike Reese?
I don't
Not
know.
that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of, but that's funny to think that it's like, you know, the other way around.
We were the one. Well, we were talking about.
No, Reese wrote it on Sunday.
Yeah.
Absolutely about Onwenu. I don't know that was leaked.
Well, we were talking about it last week that
Mhm.
it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I mean,
nobody leaked it to us.
In fairness, it's been a widespread
Yeah.
thought once camp started, and it was apparent they didn't have any right tackles.
Right. And everybody remembers how well he played.
2, how much will White and Gonzo play on Sunday? Do you think either will have a highlight play, Keon White or
Yeah,
Gonzalez?
I think Gonzalez will play every snap unless he gets benched. You
I,
know?
I agree. I think he could go wire to wire.
White, rotational, you know,
yeah.
probably some sub pass rush work.
Kind of think of White and Mapu similar. Maybe
Yeah.
White with a little bit more of a role.
Totally agree.
I will take the 15 yards if I can see Keon White get in the backfield, pick up Jalen Hurts and just throw him 10 yards.
What we're gonna
But
see.
you'll still complain about the call.
We're gonna see.
Probably.
you doing that just now reminded me of The Blind Side when Michael Orr picks the guy up and walks him like
Right.
all the way to the bus, and they're like, "Where are you going?" That's what I just thought of when you did that.
I think they just have Keon White like go stand in front of the Eagles bus. Like he's not gonna play in the game. He's just gonna stand in their
Right.
bus when they get off
Be like
and
a
try to like
bouncer,
counter some of it
Did
because they got a
you-
lot of those guys too. Like
He
Fletcher
is
Cox.
so scared. Did
He's
you
a
see?
scary
Wait till you see the pictures he posted on Instagram. Like, have we ever seen him smile?
I have
No.
confirmed.
I cracked him up.
It
with
was like a
couple
little
jokes.
smirk, like kind of just like you're walking by someone in a hallway and just the like little nod with the smirk.
Yeah. Oh, little smirk doesn't
No
count.
He's
teeth.
scary.
Didn't see any teeth.
He's scary.
Little smirk.
Like,
Nod in the smirk.
I feel like
It's
that
the Mike
picture of
Trousseau
him at the
smile.
draft is just going to be all over the internet this weekend.
So he's
Like,
scary.
He is scary.
Oh, when I,
He's scary if you're
that-
playing against him.
That
for
first
sure.
day I met him, I said, so the scouting on you is that you're smart and you're tough. And he's like, all true.
Shut your face.
I love him. I think.
Now get out of my face.
I love everything about that.
3, how does this being
doesn't.
the thank you Tom game impact the performance of the Patriots?
Oh, I was right. I don't think it has much of a.
I don't either. I mean,
They're going to be in the locker room when all this is happening.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I think it'll help the energy in the building and everybody will be pretty fired up. But it's the first game of the season. Everybody should be anyway. I don't know. I
It's
mean,
one of
in
those
some ways,
there's
But
no
it would
way
be
of knowing
so
either.
like demoralizing to go out there and just get their teeth.
yeah,
knocked
and that's
in
and
on
that's why in some
Brady
ways
Day.
I feel like Bill almost like, and I'm not the like. I wasn't expecting Bill to shoot down Brady questions, but he's kind of like glowing in his response. I'm like, I feel like he hates this because this is like a whole sideshow that's going on that is going to be mentioned and talked about, and we're going to be in the locker room asking people about Tom Brady and stuff, and it's kind of overshadowing the game a little bit. And so some part of me almost wonders if that's a bad thing that you kind of have his.
Well, from Bill's perspective, you'd
Shadow
rather
over
talk
it.
about that than
Yeah.
X's and O's that you just has to sort of
Who's
work
gonna-
around.
What have you seen from Calvin Anderson?
You like those? Talk about it.
I'm just
Andre,
wondering.
Yeah. Just curious. Andre from New Jersey. Listen, I get your concerns about well used to be not. Oh God, this English. These people with their writing. But other than that, can Deuce and Evan lighten up on the negatives this season?
I know it's
It
really
didn't even
tough.
start yet. There were shots at Juju. For some reason, they mentioned Harry in the conversation, calling the defense old and slow. We might not see Mapu this year. We're going to be roadkill if we don't get the Eagles in third down situations. And the rest of it, we're easy to defend. If I hear that one more,
That's a Fredism.
if I
Don't
hear
blame
that,
Mike and Evan for that
if I
one.
hear that one more time from Boss Man, I might just shit my ears off.
Yeah.
You and Paul.
Please, positive energy. I'm with Anthony from Seattle. 12-5, baby. Heading to the playoffs, but losing the divisional round, unfortunately.
Oh.
I'm glad you're all
On
positive.
Oh, wow.
They have one of the best teams in the league, and they're going to get upset in the playoffs. All right. Great.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what we saw this summer from Juju, and those are observations. I mean, I certainly feel good about things. I feel good about some players, but like I said, it's been 3 seasons of 500 football. So, what do you want me to do? Just sing from the heavens? It's all going to be great.
I want you to backtrack and say, I miss
You're
Tom
that
Brady.
note, though?
I want you to admit that you miss Tom Brady.
Ethel Merman.
Oh, of
over
course
And
I
that
miss
you wish
Tom
you
Brady.
stayed here. Even if they go 12-5, you wish they stayed.
Well, what if they had, I mean, I don't know.
There was discussion.
Are they really going to play this in
There
the
was
stadium?
discussion at the 11 o'clock meeting that you were going to do a live a cappella version, actually, on the field.
I got to warm up, but I mean, I'm down. I'm totally down.
That would be something if they did play that.
And now welcome
should.
Mike DeSalt with a musical arrangement for Tom. What
Do you
the
give
hell?
us permission
Yeah, do
for
we
the
have the
rights?
licensing rights for that?
We
Yeah.
probably have to talk to Poison about that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Zach in Pennsylvania really liked the move to video. Been in favor of it.
Oh, up to 4.
By the way, Alex, you're looking good even without the makeup.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Paul, you could
wanna
use a
dial-
touch-up.
want-
he
Careful,
says.
she
Why don't you
watches
dial down the
SVU.
creep meter there a little bit, bro?
He says Paul could use the touch-up.
Well, I'm 100 years old. What do you think I don't want to be on camera for? It is what it is.
Ford in Savannah, Georgia. You ever been to Savannah?
No.
Great,
Lovely.
great little city.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
No, I
Gotta
don't
say it
think
like
I
that,
have.
probably.
Beautiful.
Really cute, quaint, right on
Yeah.
the river. It's really nice.
Yeah. We used to go, when we go to Florida, you'd always stop in Savannah and we go to the Pirates House restaurant. I think
Ooh,
it's
I've
still
never
there.
been there.
What do they got?
It's like, supposedly, it used to be a pirate hangout.
Oh.
and they turned it into this restaurant.
The trio of Savannah, Charleston, and Hilton Head is just like
Charleston.
I would
have
retire there and be very,
very
happy.
nice. Charleston, very nice.
Never lived that life down there.
Loser Palooza used to be there.
Ford says, you guys and gals are the best. Thank you for all you do. What John Cougar Mellencamp song won't Patriots fans be listening to this week?
Not Little Pink
Kind
Houses.
of a riddle. You have to know his catalog, I guess, right?
Hurt So Good.
Hurt So Good, Paul. Very good. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Prediction. Patriots squeak a W on a game-winning field goal in Brady's honor, 24-21.
In Brady's
Holding
honor. Who's
Jalen
who's
Hurts
honor?
to 21 points.
Well, that's the thing.
Wow.
If they are going to win, that's kind of has to be what
Yeah.
the score would be, right?
Yeah.
You have to hold these guys
42
back.
to 41.
Well, you guys
Not
have
gonna
no
be a
faith,
shootout,
huh?
I don't think.
No faith. I have faith in the defense.
I think if you're going to win, you go out and outscore them. So you don't have to just keep
But
winning one
but
way.
be realistic.
We know they can do that.
What's more likely, the defense rises up or the offense scores in the 30s?
I think in this game, the offense, because I think the Eagles' defense isn't as good as the offense.
I needed someone to meme that face that you just
I'm being
made.
serious. I think
Drew,
the
you get
Eagles,
on that.
the Eagles' defense is not this shutdown unit. You should be able to move the ball and score some points.
Okay, here's the setup. If the Patriots score 30 points, well, the Eagles' defense is
No.
This is what we're preparing for.
Hey.
How many do the Eagles have?
30 points, I'll take it.
Huh?
If the Patriots score 30 points, how many do the Eagles have?
No, I'm just saying, if the Patriots' offense looks good,
No, listen, Fred.
Eagles'
stop.
defense is no good.
You're embarrassing yourself. Stop for a second.
That's what happens. That's what
the
happens
Eagles
all the
had,
time.
The Eagles had one of the best defenses in football last year.
But this year they won't be good.
They have some holes, and we had a caller or an emailer about a half hour ago that talked about they've lost the middle of their defense. They had no nose tackle last year. They're replacing him with a second-year guy who didn't play much in Jordan Davis. They had linebackers T.J. Edwards left, and now they have Nakobe Dean, who's never played, stepping in. Their safeties with C.J. Gardner-Johnson and some other guy whose name escapes me. They're gone. They're replacing them with an undrafted free agent in year 2 who played 5 games last year in Reed Blankenship. There's some holes in the middle of the defense. This might not be the same defense that was last year. Now, if they are, we'll see. But I don't think this is a team that you should go in and say, we have to win 17-13 or 21-17. We can't win any other way. I know they can win that way. That's the only way they've won games the last 3 years. If I'm going to get excited about something, it's going to be winning differently.
Well,
and that means going out and scoring points against a good team.
I just don't think in week 1 we're going to score in the 30s. I just don't think we're ready yet.
I don't know. I don't share your pessimism about that, though. Like
I don't
I at
either.
least leave the door open a little bit. Like, I mean, just for week 1, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill O'Brien, a lot of different pieces to work with. None are, going to shock the world, but I think that they got some good pieces to play
Am I
with.
predicting it? No, but I could see it. I can see what Mike is talking
I
about.
mean, we got we have high hopes for Pop Douglas, but we have no idea how he's going to be.
I mean, if you're going to tell me it's going to require that, then I'll pull
Right.
back on
guys
it.
that
no,
were-
I think they could run the ball.
Like right now, I would say the guy I have the most confidence in right now is Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
Okay. And
What
Devontae
about
Parker didn't play much during the preseason.
Well, none of them
there's-
played in the
There's a lot
preseason.
of question marks on offense that I think on defense we have a little bit more certainty.
But none of those guys played a lot in the preseason, so you're not going off anything you saw this year.
I know, but offense requires timing and working together and all that stuff, and we just didn't get a lot of it this preseason. I think it's going to take a little time, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying
I think you're going to be in trouble in week 1.
I'm not saying they can't get there. I'm just saying it's going to take a little time.
Yeah.
I think I'm more with Mike. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen early when you're catching teams by surprise.
At least a spark,
I
mean, and to Paul's point, maybe it's you got little Nakobe Dean getting dragged around
Listen,
the field.
if they
by
score
Ezekiel
20, if they
Elliott,
score
like,
24
let's go.
points and they're all offensive points, I'll be happy with that, as long as we can keep them to 21.
75 to 24. No, I don't know. I think that there's enough newness between Bill O'Brien and Gesicki and Elliott and a couple of the rookies and Kendrick Bourne looking rejuvenated and there's a little something there, but we haven't seen any of it.
We're talking a lot about
three drives, and that wasn't even really the full crew.
The new coordinators for Philadelphia. There's a lot of newness there. You don't know exactly what Brian Johnson is going to do. Sean Desai, is that how you pronounce his name? Desai.
Yep.
We don't know exactly what they're going to be, so there's some element of surprise. Well, they don't know exactly what the Patriots' offense is going to be either.
Well, that is true. That's true.
I think, again, I'm not necessarily predicting it. I think Philadelphia is a better team. But I understand what Mike is talking about. I could see all of a sudden, they really catch them off guard with these RPOs and these slants.
And it's like pace, and they're just like
play.
And
then when they sort of make a couple of plays in the passing game, here comes Ramondre, and I could certainly see some of that.
Listen, from your mouth to God's ears.
But I think that's what it's going to require to win the game. I don't think you can just rely on the other team having a bad game or you shutting them down.
Well, that's the thing, Paul. That's just like you just don't want to see another season unfold where it's like, here we are again on this narrow path where if it all goes great and it goes like that Green Bay game started off where you get a forced fumble, you get 18-yard touchdown drive, with a penalty, it all lines up great. We're rolling. This is the kind of game they win. You want to see those games they're not supposed to win. That we haven't seen them win in the last few years where they're not.
Or
they don't
win
have
a
their
different
best
way. Not only being a good team,
but this week I don't care how they do it.
No, I understand, Fred. But none of us is going to sit there and say, well, they won 21-17, but man, that stunk.
It's a moral loss.
No, I mean, you win, you win. I mean, that's a huge win. I don't think a lot of people are some are, but I don't think a lot are predicting a win in this game. But if you ask me how would they win to make me feel the best, it would be winning differently. The defense doesn't have to do that. Doesn't have to
score. Doesn't have to turn.
They don't have to score. They don't have to keep them in the game. The offense did that for you.
Yeah. You gave up 20 points. That is what it is.
But it
That's
didn't
a good
matter,
offense, but it didn't matter.
Maybe you won the game 31-27.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
It's a real game. Yeah.
Colin in Kansas City, in the spirit of being a fan who's optimistic or hopeful for this season, side note, sorry to hear Deuce say recently he used to be a fan. I'm wondering if Bill's team.
When did you jump off the bandwagon?
Well, I don't know. I think I was talking to when I was a fan, as before my job.
I'm wondering if Bill's team building strategy could actually work. I really hope he proves us wrong. I hope they're going to be surprisingly punchy and beat some good teams with solid defense and clean offense, even if it's not explosive and star-studded. Can you imagine a best-case scenario in which Bill's team building strategy works and the team actually has a winning record, makes the playoffs, and is competitive? Is it possible this approach works? What needs to happen for it to work?
Yeah, I think it's definitely
Mac Jones
possible.
has to make a leap into
everybody does their job.
No, Mac Jones needs to make a jump into an elite quarterback status.
That's it.
Mac Jones,
it's all Mac.
Getting them into the right plays, the right protections.
It's all Mac.
Day in, day out, gets the ball out to the right guy quick. It doesn't even have to be a super special, impossible throws. Just making good decisions, not making the stupid mistakes, and keeping them competitive when it's all on the line. That's what Mac has to prove. That's what we're waiting on Mac.
Yeah, but the most important question that Colin has is what kind of clubs did Hardy give Paul?
He knows now. He found him. He took him out of the trunk and played with him.
I know, Callaway.
Look him up.
He gave him a set of Callaway irons.
Yeah,
I mean,
those are nice, fancy.
Hoi polloi. Yeah.
Could have been top flight.
Yeah, no, real nice. And Paul, you told me that you used them, and
I'm back, baby.
He played amazing by himself. Nobody
Callaway
to vouch for him.
XRs, I think.
Yeah, that's
Hardy balls.
And he just threw you clubs. I mean, you're in good shape when you can just throw away a set of irons.
Right. And it improved Paul's game.
Immensely.
Yeah.
I played like I've actually had a club in my hands before yesterday.
I like
a big
golf.
improvement over the previous 5 times.
I wish we had a golf tournament.
Maybe we will.
We have done that in the past.
Can we bring it back?
Yeah.
There's a lot more players golf now.
Let's
players.
Let's make it.
Oh, you're talking about the player tournament.
No, like a
content.
I thought you
like
meant us. We've had one before.
Well, that'd be fun
Guess
too.
who won that?
I'm talking about like a lot of teams do charity golf tournaments.
Yeah. For the foundation. Yeah.
Yeah, the Patriots used to do that. They don't.
But
do
not
it
enough
anymore.
guys played golf. That's what Stacy told me. But now I feel like
but
there's more.
everybody played though.
Yeah.
It was required.
Yeah, but it wasn't fun.
No.
Well, the guys that play golf, they can sign up to do it. You can get alumni in the mix. You can get media in the mix.
Yeah.
I'll be the
cart
man.
I used to be a cart girl. Best job I ever had until this one.
Really?
Hell yes.
Lights.
Selling beer on a cart?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Oh, very lucrative.
So
before you saw it,
can I just ask you, how creepy was it?
Oh my god!
Because I could just imagine, I
drunk
feel
golf guys
incredibly
all day
creepy.
long.
So all I do,
Incredibly creepy.
every single time I'm in one of those tournaments,
Hold my driver.
The cart girl comes up.
Oh, I love to
All
hustle them.
All
Can
I think
take
about
this
is
shot for
my
you
nieces.
For $20, or they'd be like, "Oh, you're gonna do this drive," and it's like, "Oh, I bet you I can reach the fairway, $20." And
And you're a good golfer?
Decent.
Oh yeah. What's your handicap?
I don't have
Per
a
game.
handicap, but like I can break 100.
That's
I
really
have
good. If you
broken 95.
Listen,
Yeah.
if you can
That's-
break
that's
100
good.
and you're not losing balls, you can golf with anyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can do that like
Most
your whole
women
life.
are just like, I don't know what it is about getting. They think that everyone that goes and plays golf is good, but the reality is, I started playing and I'm like, wow, all my guy friends really suck too.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
actually better than
That
them.
is-
You can,
that
it's
is
really
fact.
just getting
Oh, yeah.
over the embarrassment.
But just
of
so you know,
potentially
guys think
failing.
like that too. Guys that, like, I automatically would assume if I haven't played with you that they're way better than me. That would be my assumption. Then you go out and play and you realize, oh, then
Yeah, the big thing about golf is you don't want to go out there and make a fool of yourself.
Right.
Hold people
or hold
up.
people up. Yeah, you're the pain in the ass. You're
Right.
like everyone's waiting on the green and you're in the
Yeah.
woods. Like
Everyone's waiting on you all the time. And
I
all-
feel like
you know.
that's me with bowling.
Bowling.
I need bumpers.
How much time can you
I
take?
need bumpers.
Your approach.
I don't remember the last time I went bowling.
The thing about bowling is you're not holding anyone up. You take your you take your shot and then you go sit down.
Yeah, you got auto score.
You know?
You only
go
get
candle pins.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you go to the
Have you been here
McCourty
for
Bowl
candle
last
pins?
year?
Are you
I did.
regular,
The
like,
McCourty
10
Bowl
pin?
was really funny.
Have you been
Big
candle
ball,
pins
okay.
here?
No.
Candle
so you gotta
pin
go
is
candle
yeah,
pin.
it's like a New England
It'll
thing.
change your life.
Rhode Island has a thing called duck pins. Do you ever hear those?
What is
They're-
happening?
Is that
they're-
10 pin?
It's 10 pin, but the pins are the same shape as the big pins, but they're small. So it's called duck pins, and it's a small ball.
That's dumb.
Maybe I'll be
That's,
better at
that's
that.
only a Rhode
Jump.
Island thing.
I
Rhode
love that
Island.
Mookie Betts came back and was like, yeah, the one thing I'm really looking forward to is seeing my bowling friends. And he like went bowling with them.
Well,
Now, did he do candle pin?
Yeah, because
Yeah, candlepin specifically.
Yeah,
That was
that's
sorry.
funny.
I did not.
Candlepin didn't exist everywhere, and my in-laws were
No.
like, "This is so much more fun than trying to lug a 30-pound ball and like roll it down the." You
Yeah,
just
it's
grab
like a
them
little
and
shot
fire
put.
'em.
It's hard though
Yeah.
to
Oh,
get
it's-
to get a high score.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you whip it down there and like one pin goes
What,
up in the
candle
air.
pin?
Yeah, candle pin.
Just do it harder. Just,
We used to play a lot when there used to be a million bowling alleys everywhere.
yeah.
They've
They're
gone
all over.
away.
Yeah.
All right, as you can see, we've
Good way
come to the end of the show.
Good way to end it.
Do I need to do any announcements, Matt? Just the final read. The final read for the final time. We will be back tomorrow, our first Wednesday show of the season. So we followed by Playbook tomorrow. So it's a big Wednesday. Let's see. Toyota is the final read. Okay. Hey, Patriots fans, if you want to see Toyota's best offers, including those not seen on TV, go to buyatoyota.com. It's Toyota's official website for deals from the official vehicle of the New England Patriots. Toyota, let's go places. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Maybe Alex will be with us. We don't know.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.
The world's original podcast.